can start off laughing. I mean, because it's some
Okay,
funny
everybody's like,
stuff happening up in this joint.
We always
Happy,
have something fun behind the scenes.
yeah. If they only knew what happens behind the scenes. My. Mm-mm-mm.
Alive.
Happy New Year, everybody. It's time to come in the room and have a conversation. We haven't been around for a couple weeks. We took the holidays off, even though y'all stayed on. If you actually in a relationship flow group, y'all need to join the group. That's what Daryl say. He don't know why y'all not there. So, as usual, we're gonna do our check-ins and what we sipping. How was your holidays? What's going on, Doc? You had major stuff going on.
Oh man, from Christmas. Well, actually, from the beginning of December on, it's been a whirlwind. But I have a new grandbaby, and he is doing well with his little 2-pound, 10-ounce self. He keeps surprising the doctors every single day with his progress, and I am so happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be back. Welcome, Relationship Flow folks and other folks who need to join the group. And I am sipping on cupcake wine, red velvet.
Okay, cupcake.
Yes.
Putting that on the list.
First drink of the year.
First drink of the year. Oh, shucks.
Oh,
my boo. Hey, there we go.
Yes, she did.
I miss my friend. Not like that, y'all.
We know. You miss your friend. So you ain't get the memo, so you about to be surprised, but that's all good. You roll with the flow easily.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's my foreplayer telling you what's about to happen. Camp, how you living?
I'm doing good. I'm chilling, relaxing.
What you sipping on? Some water from a nice pretty bottle?
I was earlier, but I'm not sipping on anything right now.
Some nice Polish Spring.
I've been trying to Polish Spring from Walmart.
I've been trying to sip on something for the last couple of days, but I'll work on that. That's a different story. But yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
But you did say about the new year. I will say, I got into cryptocurrency over the break, so I'm excited about that.
All right.
Awesome.
Welcome to the
family.
Club.
Yes. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. All right, Queen April, what you got?
Well, first, I want to just say happy holidays, happy Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, all of that good stuff. And I'm bringing in the new year slowly because 2020 went out with a bang. But
I think you got a wig on.
What?
I think 2020 got a wig on and coming back.
She got a lot of
stuff
going on. She got a lot of stuff going on. But to meet her, I'm drinking tequila tonight.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
I am not messing with her. I'm not messing with this conversation either. But I'm ready. All is good.
All right, all is good. He was introduced and welcome to the chat as Trouble.
Big time.
What's going on, Trouble? I'm sorry.
What's going on?
Hi, Daryl. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year's to everyone. I'm glad to be back. It was tough these 2 weeks not being on, but the room kept me going.
Or you kept the room going.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
One of the two, but yeah.
And what you sipping on? Your Gatorade or water or
green tea right here.
You got the whole jug.
That's a man.
Gotta stay hydrated. Yeah, gotta make sure it's coming out clear. All right, if I'm clear, I'm good. Clean those
I get
out.
it clear.
You know what I mean?
I get it clear too. Clear and safe. We always love when we get the presence of Del Rico. What's up, Del Rico?
He's making a debut.
Yes, in the new year.
Yeah, trying to get back on a little more. Fridays has been difficult because I've been having a young one on Fridays every Friday, so And doing anything with him is like a task because he will flip and jump on the computer. But, happy to be back. I always try to check in. Um, just pop in if I can. I've been seeing the posts, and my man D been holding it down for the men.
There it is.
No, he's been holding it down. He's been holding nothing down.
But happy New Year to everybody, man. I hope, as crazy as the last one was, I hope you still found your blessings throughout the craziness. And just be thankful we here to fight another one, because obviously this one gonna be crazy too.
Right?
They got a new wig.
I'm sipping just a cold beer. That's all.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, cold beer. Okay, cold beer. Well, I got to share. I'm sipping on tequila because this conversation may go a little awry. Little awry. So I got a intro song to our conversation. I hope y'all is ready. It's Sipping Chat Friday.
Yes.
7 days a
Ain't
week.
nobody
We missed
shaking.
y'all.
Where the shaker at?
Where the you the shaker.
You gonna shake?
All right, that's enough, right? Because she go a little too hard. All right. We want to make sure YouTube don't cut us off, or Facebook. So
they let him on. We'll stay on.
No, he's permanently been dismissed. Did you see that update? He's been permanently dismissed.
Oh, that was just on Twitter, but that wasn't here, Facebook.
Well,
they keep
talking about your uncle DT.
He got 2 week. He got 2 week punishment on Facebook.
Whatever.
Oh, really?
Oh, he also got a warrant out for his arrest in Iraq, but
They just throwing the park that dude.
Let's deliver him.
because he sanctioned something to be done and it killed 2 of their generals.
Let's deliver him.
No, they don't play. Wow. They don't play. They don't let stuff go like we do.
Right.
Now the thing is that they're gonna have to him and Rudy Giuliani, they're gonna just replay the tape of what they said before those folks went running into that building. And when you incite a riot and people die from it, listen, Charles
accountable for that.
Can kill anybody.
Right?
You're going to be accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it goes the way it's supposed to go, let's say that. If it goes the way it's supposed to go, you should be held shortly.
They've already charged one of the senators.
Did they? Which one?
Yes, with inciting the riot as well.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
What about with the 4
he's white? I didn't hear you.
What about with the 4 deaths?
Oh, that's on the list.
Yeah, that's what it's connected to. That's part of it.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
And apparently in the 1800s, something happened very, very similar to this. For the British War or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
But just think about it. To me, it's crazy because if they can get into the Capitol that easy, right? Did someone let them in? How'd you get in that easy? That means anybody could just walk in there and get in there with no problems.
In Maryland, but the governor of Maryland called in what do you call them? The National Guard. He was in the National Guard into DC from Maryland, but they wouldn't take his call. They knew he was calling to send troops, but they wouldn't take the call.
Yeah, to me it just seemed kind of it's something fishy that you can just get in that easy, right? This is a place that's protected. And you just get in the building and you're in people's offices and you take it like how's that happen? That just doesn't make sense to me.
They knew exactly where to go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But it was escorted.
Yeah.
It was escorted.
But it shows that the government right now has been a crazy discord. It's just crazy. And I don't believe that Biden is the answer either, right? Everybody's like, oh, Biden. I don't think that's the answer either.
Yeah.
Nope. Everybody on the screen is the answer. Everybody on this screen is the answer, not that old white man who can't even put two words together. Like he's dying in front of us. Like they're not. That's not the answer. But it's neither here nor
Sorry.
there.
That's so
You're
funny.
gonna sip on that, sip and chat on that.
It's just sad, man. It's sad because I'm watching. I don't know if you guys have seen Sons of Liberty on Hulu, but
No.
it's a show that takes you back to 1800s and 1812, like right before America was established with the Revolutionary War and that kind of thing. And it was kind of crazy because Samuel Adams in the movie stood up and said, "You haven't been there. You haven't seen what I've seen and felt what I've felt. But yet y'all are the ones in this closed room protected and making rules and laws for everybody."
Mm-hmm.
The same thing going on now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you talking about the American War and the Spanish? Yeah, that was 1812.
Yeah, 1812 when that happened. But it's like a cycle we on. We on this repetitive cycle and we need to get off fast.
Yeah, we gotta build our own systems for that and realize our relationship to it. You know, like we have a relationship to everything. It's no relationship that's one dimensional. So it's we gotta just realize that we have a role and responsibility. Darico, you said everybody on the screen has a place or a voice in it, but they gotta accept that charge.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they gotta accept that charge. So whew, I didn't realize we ain't playing that one. We didn't plan that. Any other recent events we want to cover? We got some wins that happened in our community. We're getting the bag in Georgia and shifting the focus.
Yes, yes. Georgia showed up and showed out.
Yes,
They
they did.
definitely did.
They
So
did. They
shout
definitely
out to if
did.
anybody catch us on the replay or listening from Georgia. We give y'all a shout out for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
But it shows collaboratively. If we get together, we can make some change.
We can
Right.
make some serious moves and change. We just gotta get together.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Move
we got
that.
to get together, but we also have to instill some hope because a lot of people don't believe that they can make changes. So they just sit back and do nothing.
Right.
Well, but that's what Georgia shows you, right? If you
Yes.
really get out there, you hit the
Yes.
streets, you band together, you can make a change. You can make a
But,
difference. You can
but now
overthrow whatever it is.
I'm hoping we hold these people with their feet to the fire to do what's necessary because they'll get a position and then they'll just turn on us and
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
won't take phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Dismiss us because we our buying power is not directed in the right way. So if we
Mhm.
would direct our buying power instead of lining up for Jordans and that kind of crap, if we direct it to the right way, then we have more power in this political thing. But we keep doing it individually. So individually, our little $2 by itself not doing anything.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if we bring this bag together, we can actually be like, you know what? We're gonna start buying candidates and having them do what we need them to do
Mhm.
because we're not playing.
But it starts
Uh-huh.
locally.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
playing checkers and they playing chess.
Well, it starts with us.
Totally different.
It starts with us kind of loving each other first. We gotta look at it ourselves. It's like, I love that black man over there. Instead of that being an enemy, we look at ourselves as enemies too much, and that's why we're such on different pages all the time. Even when we come together at the table and everybody wants something different, and the argument just makes everything go awry. We gotta at least come to some ground and say, at least let's move in the right direction together.
Mhm. Mhm. And it's like you got to take you can't take on everything, but know where your strength is,
Absolutely.
and focus on that, and just trust that somebody else is focused on another piece of the puzzle that's going to make it happen.
Hmm.
Yep.
You talk about trust.
That is
Yeah.
trust.
Oh,
Yes, the
I mean,
relationship of
you know,
trust. Imagine that.
I mean, Mary heard me speak to young people, but that's what I do with my little program when I'm talking about life through sports. And in football, you play with 11 people on the field, so I have to trust that this next person is going to do their job
yes.
and do exactly what they're supposed to do. That might say you might not make the tackle on this play, but collectively we did it together. So we all benefit from it. But if one person goes off and says, I'm going to be the hero on this play, and then a running back pops and it's a 90-yard touchdown, it's like, okay, you wanted to be selfish. So now we all have to reap the benefits of, of a 90-yard touchdown because you didn't do your job. I think everybody has a part to play in, and everybody's part's important. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because like you're
Nobody.
saying, when that one person doesn't do their part, what happens is now you can't concentrate on what you need to do. Because now you got to look over your shoulder like, I got to watch that area too. So now you can't even do what you need to do because you're focused on two areas because you can't trust that that person's going to be there. Once that person breaks your trust, then things start breaking down, and that's what happens a lot of time. We get into things and somebody breaks the trust of it and it falls apart. So right now, I mean, it seems like we're in a good position where we have the House and the Senate, so a lot of things should be able to change. I mean, what, do I have faith in them changing things? I don't. I don't. I don't. Let's be honest about the situation. At the end of the day, money's going to protect money. They're going to protect their power independently of everything. And we were needed to get this change, but like I said, then we fall to the wayside again, and that's what happens. And we allow it to happen.
And that's where that accountability comes
Then white
in.
people protect white people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I'm not. It's not even a. It's real rap. They're going to protect that long money. This has been a long time. People, they don't want to lose their power. Let's be honest. It's about power and
And that's
control.
what it's a whole tantrum.
Yeah,
What happened the
yeah.
other day was a whole tantrum because they didn't get their way. Hey, little mommy.
And
Hi.
hey,
Congratulations.
lady.
Thank
How are you
you.
feeling? How are you feeling?
Great. Thank you.
There you go. Awesome. That's awesome.
She has the same voice as mom. It's so crazy.
But the problem with the people who had the tantrum, they don't really understand that they're fighting for something that really isn't really protecting them as much as they think it is, right? The government is protecting the money. They're sending them out to do this nonsense, but at the end of the day, they can care less about them as well.
You
You know,
see these feet? Somebody need to come out
They
there.
having a different conversation, Daryl.
whole different.
A whole different.
What
I don't even
what
think they heard what you said.
what feet are we talking about? What are we seeing over there?
Who?
Over there, y'all got feet.
Oh, you, the owl. We talking about the owl. The owl. Who?
Oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
So yeah, we
You wanted
definitely
to know
gotta.
she didn't get a chance to find out what we were talking about tonight, and she read the topic and she's like, "What?"
Right. We was just doing a community check-in right now.
Yes.
Doing beginning of the year look back.
Right. Look back and check. We
Catch
gotta
up.
check the wig.
Mm-hmm.
It look like we need to go back to the store, the hair store, and get a different wig because it's
Yeah.
looking
I
familiar.
mean, this year is going to look very interesting as well.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to look very interesting as well. I don't know.
I hope maybe we might be a little better prepared this time. We might not stress as much because we know what's going on. It's not anything new. I mean, we've seen people who had their little so-called privilege threatened, and they went and acted a fool, and they got a little taste, and they ain't even really get a taste of what we go through, but they acted like they did.
Well, they play victim very well, and again, what we saw once again is that they are allowed to do things that, and if it was like say it was more melanated, we know that wouldn't have happened. I doubt they would have even got close to the Capitol, to be honest, if there was a whole bunch of melanated people protesting anything. Um, they were allowed to do it. They were welcomed in almost. There were very few. I mean, I think they, at the time, I think it was 56 arrests that I heard of.
Yeah.
13 guns were recovered. Um, if you
And
recover
for
13
death.
guns and only 4 people dead, that's just crazy. Because they're killing people of color for cigarettes, right? So you safely recovered 4 guns in this mob, and really no one was hurt. Um, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Right.
And And I think I saw a post where the one woman who got shot in the neck, they were talking about she attacked her ex-husband's girlfriend or something, and someone else was like, "Why are you guys smearing her character?" And it's like, this is what you do every time something happens to someone of color. Like,
Right.
it's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
So I mean, it still shows that uh, things are very different, contingent upon who's doing what.
Yes.
Pretty much. Pretty much. April, did you want to weigh in? I know you've been bouncing on
I
current events.
actually, I don't
Matt,
know if
with
you guys know that I was in and out. My Wi-Fi is acting up.
yeah, that's I said I wanted to know if you wanted to comment since you was in and out. I know you were. I had to pull you from the ledge and say, "Come off of social media."
I know I was in there. I was in there, but nah, I don't really want to weigh in. I don't want to go back to that space.
Mm.
Okay. All right. All right. What space you ready for?
Hold on. Sorry.
You
I'm
ready
ready
for
to
this
talk
space right
about
here?
the White American Princess. This is a nice.
This the space you ready for? Okay, my bad. I don't want to.
Oh, cut that off. Hey,
I just wanted to see what she was ready for. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see. Oh goodness.
I'm a man of a certain age now, and that song hurts my soul.
I know. I don't even listen to it. It was just the purpose, you
Yeah,
know.
Oh, it don't hurt mine.
I know.
I mean, music is kind of just transcended. I mean, there were songs like that back in the day,
Yeah, it
not as
was.
You right?
explicit.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love them
so
Cause I
when I
listened
was
to
18.
listen to Two Live Crew, Too
Too
Short.
live, too short,
listen,
too
That
short.
dude
Yeah,
MJG,
oh,
Big
hey, hey,
Ball.
oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm like
Okay,
I'm my
Cam.
Swisher House.
Yeah.
I go
I
hard.
mean,
Now,
listen.
Mr. P, I don't play with my
You
damn
talking
self.
about
We
Pit
go.
Boy?
Yes.
Yeah, Cam.
Uncle Luke, you feel me? Come on.
Yeah.
Hey.
I like. I
Yeah,
mean, I
Uncle Luke
listened to
was that
Uncle Luke. I
dance
was
she was
like
doing
six
in
or
the after
seven.
show.
Yeah, that was it. And he was just talking about
Man,
pop. That pop, pop. He just, listen.
man, I remember being in second grade, and yeah, that's another story. We used to bust it hard.
Second
Yes,
grade?
the
Oh
black tie.
shoot.
Don't stop.
Get
Hey, no, hey,
it.
don't stop. You understand?
Mm-mm-mm. So, what's some things that could be WAP? I don't know. And relationship flow. I mean, it could be what we played in the music, but what else could WAP be when it comes to relationship flow?
Hmm.
You could drop that in the comments if you're listening, but what y'all got? What y'all got? We got a comment.
I'm sorry, I went in and out. Even hear you.
Hey, Ronnie, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You
Hey,
know, we get a
girl.
I'm
bit.
sorry, Mary.
Girl.
I went in and out. I didn't hear the question.
I said, what is a WAP when it comes to relationship flow? Although the song probably could describe a whole bunch of things, but when you come to relationship flow, we always twist and turn on a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
You had to sip on that one, huh? What else could WAP be? We had some in the pre-show.
I forgot.
I thought it meant White American Princess. I'm like, why are we talking about White American Princess?
And what's the white American princess,
Yeah,
April?
what is that?
I don't know.
That is a real term.
It is. It is.
So, what is the term? School me, because I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
please.
take it so literally to
I
the
think
word.
I've heard what is it Jewish American Princess is
Yeah,
what I've
it is
heard.
Jap.
A
Yes,
Yeah.
Jap. Okay.
my
Yeah.
first roommate was a Jap,
Mm.
Jewish American princess.
What did she call you?
Basically,
What's
white
your
white
first
person
roommate
that
call you? That's what I want to
excuse
know.
me.
If you
What
call
did
her a
you say,
jab,
Gerald?
what was she calling you?
A bat. A bat.
She was calling you a bat.
Yes,
Yeah.
a black American princess.
Really?
You sure that's
Did
what
she
she
call
was
you
saying
that? Is
as
that
a
what she
family
called
of
you?
we are?
Is that what she called you
From the
behind your
family,
back?
right?
No, probably not. Probably not, especially after that whoop ass. So
yeah. Oh, it
Oh,
was
she
something.
called you a nap. She
Yeah,
called you a
yeah.
nap.
she may have. She may have. That was before the whoop
N-word.
ass.
She called you an N-word African princess.
She probably did. She probably did.
I mean, you was at the family of We Are, so it's anything that could have came out.
Man, it's so crazy. I had one of those roommates too. I was the first black person she had ever been around.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was so crazy because we didn't talk to each other or anything. One day I came
Yeah.
home from classes and she had a padlock on her little cabinet. I'm like, what? What are you doing? You think I'm gonna steal your stuff? Like,
I'd
what?
have kicked it.
What's
I'd have kicked it
Like, you
over.
might have your own stuff,
That.
I'd have kicked it over.
right?
Wow. Wow.
like, wow, this is so insulting.
Oh, it is. It is. That would have really had me, and I'd have really been upset.
Okay, so I'm getting it. So I had a roommate my freshman year. He was from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. So I wasn't real versed with black folks. And he had his little girlfriend with him who he thought was a white American princess. She was a little blonde hair white girl, but he used to have her locked in the room like she was something special. Like, don't nobody get near my white American princess. Like, and he used to sit around like, yo, you got this little white girl locked up in the room like somebody want her. But it was his little W.A.P, I guess. That just took me back to then. I was, oh man, I was,
Yeah, forgot all about that story, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that made
Well, I didn't.
Take something.
Daryl, I didn't kick it over, but I went on a rampage of playing all kinds of hip hop music, inviting friends over, all of the things that made her cringe.
Oh goodness! So that was intentional. Like that's what my intention is to make her cringe.
Yeah.
Well, my roommate was good because I came, he saw me, and then the next day when I came back, he was gone. He moved out. I had a single freshman year, but then he left. So I thanked him. I mean, he was great.
I didn't have that problem.
You ain't had no W.A.P situations.
Not in college to think about it. No.
Mm.
Well, what I did do, but my roommate, she was Hispanic, but had friends. We're still friends to this day. But she would have her classmates come over. I put up my Prince poster above my bed, the one where he has the black patch.
Mm-hmm.
I put a Purple Rain paraphernalia around the room. They stopped coming.
Because of Prince, Purple Rain.
Well, me and my other girlfriend who's from California, we do every weekend. We used to do Prince impersonations in the lobby.
Okay.
We used to do we used to do the whole album of Purple Rain every weekend
Mm-hmm.
in order, and we used to do the moves, the sounds.
Hilarious.
Oh, so that's why they left
Charles
the
and
concert.
Nikki.
They get left because of the concert.
Oh, that's my favorite song.
I'm sure it is. What else is a W.A.P?
Thanks for winning my computer back. You gave me all my money.
See, I didn't go to a PWI, so
Black ass people.
Whack ass people. We had some whack ass people on the news earlier this week. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, if you're being used in the sense if you're attracting whack ass people, why? Ask yourself why.
Yeah, like what's that energy that you're putting out there that the whack ass people coming your way?
Absolutely. If that's what you're attracting, what is going on?
Yes.
Because you're the consistent denominator, so it's like, okay, you gotta look at what is happening and that being a consistent denominator.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't believe that they attract what they are.
Yeah. And it's silly because at a certain point you have to realize if you're getting all the same things, there's something that is allowing it to be the same type of person getting over and over again. You know, there's something in you that's sensing this in this person when they're all becoming the same person. You gotta say something. You know what I mean? You gotta realize that's something in you and try to find it out.
But that's so difficult for people to be able to look in the mirror and say, okay, it's something I got to do different.
Mm-hmm.
That they just think that they just have bad karma and they deserve whatever this bad karma energy is that keep coming their way.
They do. They
Or
do
they play
deserve it.
victim and say they don't deserve it, but they don't know why it keeps happening to them.
And they
Absolutely.
ride the roller coaster too while it's there with that victim ride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in a position to try to do better, then you deserve to get what you get. You know what I mean? That if you're not going to fix it, then that's what you're going to get. If you're going to continue to be in denial and having the same thing happen, then there's nothing you can do if you're not willing to change. So
Right.
good luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck with your
Keep
whack ass people.
keep your way. Keep
That's
yourself
the
away.
song, man, with the whack ass people.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
God, give it to us again, Doc. What is it?
Good luck with your whack ass people.
Ah, yeah. I think 2021 people need to do. It should be all about self assessments, and trying to be better. Take a real look at yourself and say what's really going on, and stop being in denial and running from
Right.
things. We got to start fixing ourselves. It's time to start fixing ourselves.
And it's that personal accountability,
Yeah,
being able to
yeah.
take that taking that critical conversation or critical reflection of yourself to say, okay, what's my intentions or what can I do differently? Because if I keep getting whack ass people, like, what's that about?
Absolutely.
They might be
The
fun for
lie,
the roller coaster ride.
Hmm.
the lie is easier to live than looking at yourself in the mirror and reflecting on the truth. It's a lot easier
So
to
true.
live than that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
most people, at least I'll say this. In the very beginning, most people think that. But once you really take a strong look at yourself, things start to fall out of the way. Like
Mm,
you look at, I guess, your future down the road a little bit differently than lying to yourself. You lie once, now you got to keep building all these lies to just move forward. But if we just take a second to say, all right,
well, it's
hardly
almost
look
like
at
the.
myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the lie becomes that new normal. You know what I mean? Where you know what's going to happen. You know this is going to last for a couple months and it's going to fall apart because this happens, and then you'll get back with that person or somebody else, and you'll do the same thing, and it'll happen again, and you'll find that you've been doing it for the last 5 years, the same thing over and over again.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That you start to accept that this your new normal. You're conditioned for this to happen, and
Yeah, you're
you're very
right.
complicit in it. You're complicit in it because you're doing it over and over again, over and
I've
over
had
again.
people tell me that yeah, 2 years is my max. Okay,
Mm.
why is that?
yeah, why not 2 months?
Why is
Well,
that?
people do function in numbers. So you might
Yes.
have a sequence number as far as how you make decisions and when it is you decide to move. But it's like that 2 year mark could be 2 months, or it could be, I don't know, 2 seasons. You could change that too for whatever you need to change it to. It don't have to be 2 years. Two
Right.
years, look at all opportunity and intentions you missed out on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm. Or if it's going well and you get to that 2 year mark and it's like, all right, it's going to end, then it becomes a self fulfilling
Sabotage.
prophecy.
Sabotage. Yep.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when you got to
Yeah.
sabotage it. Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
People are really afraid to win sometimes.
Mhm.
They're afraid to
Right.
win. They're afraid to go to that next level, and that's scary. So you
Because it
know what I'm gonna
requires
do?
more responsibility and accountability.
Absolutely.
People
Or
land.
or, or,
That's
or
all.
even some people don't even know to really need what it really looks like going to the other side. They're so afraid to do it. You'd rather just sabotage it than even go to the other side. It might be better. It might work better for you, but you're like, oh, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know. Really, a real commitment it's scary. So I'm going to now start acting crazy and
Yeah,
and
I
because
never
think
I
below the
because
people are
I
belt.
afraid of the
know that
unknown.
because I know that 2 years is my limit.
That's
That's
it.
what it's always been.
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
know that.
Expiration date is in 2 years. It's on
Me,
the,
that's
But it's
like
like
being
that
in a
means you
dating
stagnant and
relationship.
you
You
so
still there.
comfortable, but you so stagnant and comfortable in the wrong space. Like
hmm
everything is like a season, a moment, or a lifetime, and every relationship is not for a lifetime. It
hmm
could really just be for a season. Some people use you for the moment, and then once they get past that moment, they're like, okay, well, let me just throw you off to the side. That may not be, it may be 2 years or it may be less, but it's like, if you either the season or the lifetime, like you got purpose. Everything has a purpose. You gotta be specific
Absolutely.
though.
Absolutely. And
Yeah, I'm
people, some
listening
people only
to
know their
y'all,
purpose.
and my WAP was whack ass positions at jobs. So I knew three
Oh,
years, three
Oh,
I
that's
years,
thought you
another
were talking
good.
about
That's a good
positions.
one.
I thought you were talking about
3 years,
positions. I was
three
like,
years was my limit. I'm out of here. Like I'm rolling. Like no, I'm
Okay.
stagnant. I done,
gotcha.
I done did what I could do here. I done, took from the smartest people that I think is at this place and added to my bag. But listen, I used to be that person when 2.5 years was coming up at the job. I'm like, yep, I got about 4 months and I'm out of here.
Word, word, word.
I couldn't. And this was me self-reflecting and looking at the mirror to try to do some self-evaluation because I didn't have my father. So I had to continue to look at myself instead of having somebody that I could say, okay, that's where I got that stupid stuff from, or
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
I got. So I had to look at myself like, all right, let's do some self-evaluating here because once I get to 2.5 years, I'm looking for the exit plan,
Word.
and and it was I mean, I knew it was coming. I mean, I was a teacher, did some residential facilities. I was like, yeah, y'all got about 30 more days, and people
yeah,
thought I was playing. Like, I'm out of
yeah.
here, man.
Mm-mm. So if you in the comments or in the audience, share what your WAP is in your life, personal goal, relationship, work goals, or ask us questions based off of what we've shared. Share your WAP. I can't think of a WAP, and probably because I know the real situation. I can't think of a WAP. I mean,
Oh
because
wow.
you guys gave your situations from college, and that
Uh-huh.
wasn't my experience because I rock a HBCU, so I can't think of a WAP.
Okay, I have one.
And I'm even thinking about my PWI. Like I ain't really mess with them like that.
Whack and phony.
Excuse me.
Whack and phony. Okay, what's
Well,
the whack and
I don't
phony?
know.
Okay.
I just think in general, like in everyday life, I can see people coming from a mile away since I've been like 10 or 11. I'd be like, this ain't about no shit. I'm sorry. This ain't about nothing. They ain't saying nothing. They ain't doing nothing. It's just blah, 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 blah. And so people have this society, we call it representative and all this other stuff. And then the assumptions. People be whack when they just assume, like,
Key, Nay.
Welcome,
I'm
Keys
sorry.
May, to the conversation.
Hey.
So just stuff like that, just on the everyday thing. I'd be like, here come the
So whack and
buffoonery.
phony.
Here come the
Okay, whack
buffoonery.
and phony.
Here come the
I got
BS.
without another person. You got to work on yourself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Without
Okay,
another
And so,
person,
Daryl.
you feel me? You got to work on
so I
yourself
think what
sometime
I've done is
alone.
I've just decided to just walk away and just not entertain it at all. I decided this a long time ago when I
Okay.
was 15, 16. But I
Right.
just think it just also, but on the other end, it's allowed me to work on myself and to listen more and just be like, don't write people off. Listen to what they have to say, even if it is whack and phony. Let's see if you can weed through that and separate the person from the action.
Oh, I ain't got that
It's
Okay.
type of
about
time.
That's a lot of
extending. It's
I
about
ain't
strategy
got that.
going
I ain't got
on.
that type of time.
it's
Yeah,
about extending with grace and mercy.
if I think you phony, I am not weeding through it. I ain't a gardener. I ain't got that type of time.
So
I
there's no
know, but
season moment of lifetime with them. You just like, oh no, you phony. I got
Nah,
to go.
got to
well,
roll.
I'm
Like
like
I
that
don't got
too. But on
time.
the other end, when I think about different situations, I try to hear people out. But then I know what it is. I meet people where they at.
Yeah,
That's all.
I tend to use those times as a teaching, as a learning lesson for me that I could teach the young people. So I entertain the BS. I'm with it, man. Let
Mm.
me hear what kind of BS you can come up with, man. That's why these last couple of days of white folks climbing on walls, and I love the BS because I could use it as a tool to teach, man. That's like anything that happens, I try to find something in it to say I could teach this to some young people and they could look out for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And whack and phony is a good one. You know what I'm saying? Without
I got another one.
without any people, that's a good. You know what I'm saying?
White ass privilege. I saw that yesterday too. So when I sat home and they had my popcorn, I looked at that. I was like, you know what? We have black privilege, don't use it, but I feel like I use mine every day because I don't be playing with people. So I just be like, I'm gonna walk up in this room. I could be the only black person, and I'm gonna feel comfortable. But guess what? I went to Wawa out in out here in Delaware County. Went to Wawa. I actually opened the door. I could have let it hit his face. Old white man actually kept the door open. He goes. People were like all shocked to be like, she didn't do anything. She walked by me and left the door. It's just being courteous. It ain't about nothing for me.
Right.
But I was pumping gas and we were the only black people out there. And people just kept staring at me and my son like, are they gonna do something? I'm just here to get my little tea, pump some gas and go home. But it's like everybody was just walking on edge so tense. Somebody was
Right.
gonna get up in their face. Somebody was like gonna be rude. No, it's y'all, not us.
Right. Right.
They might have looked because they wanted to come give you a hug and say they're sorry.
I saw them. I saw them. Some white people's faces. They felt
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
remorseful, but it was like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. No, you really ain't, because y'all ride together all day long, no matter how wrong the
Not at
next
all.
person is.
Really
So
sorry.
so they may be sorry, but they're not sorry enough to do anything about it because they're not going to lose their
Exactly.
position.
Don't
Right.
pacify me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
don't
they
Exactly.
may they
But
don't
then
may
they
be
probably
pacify
sorry.
me.
also read the card too and made several assumptions about you because of the way that you represent. You have your crown that represents ethnicity that they don't necessarily always agree with.
True.
Mhm. So sometimes if you're showing something different than what they perceive you to be, because they get all the images of us from on TV and things of that nature, where there's not many positive images, they may, oh, she's not like them. She's different.
Oh, but
Look
let
how
me tell you
polite
what's
she
what
was.
happened.
She held the door.
But let me tell you what else happened. So they only had one cashier. We was in line, right? And then another cashier came up. Oh, I'll take the next person. All the white people went around the other way. We went in front. So when I stopped at the counter, the white guy goes, oh, never mind. Yeah, because I was the first one in line, boo. You not gonna skip me, because even if you was in front of me, I was gonna step in front of you, and my stuff
He
was on ding first
he said
anyway.
he don't want the smoke anyway. You can go.
So they just, I'm just saying, they thought they was gonna
Not,
skip me.
But
Both of
I
them
think we
grown.
have to be careful too, not to overthink things. So I was going into Home Depot the other day, rushing, didn't I forgot my mask, right? So as I'm walking into the door, this white guy was looking at me like, so I realized I didn't have my mask on. I went back to the car, and when I came back up, he was like, "Man, yeah, I was looking at you because I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to start anything." But I thought he was looking at me at first because I was black. Like I was like, "What the fuck is your name?" Like that's how I took it. But it really was nothing. It was just more me overthinking. He was just looking like, "Yo, how you gonna come in here without a mask on?" Right? So I was really going. I was on 10, thinking that he was thinking something that he wasn't. So we have to be careful too, not to overthink. The same thing. But
And,
anyway,
and, and we
you're
do
right,
that
but
too. We got to pay attention to how we enter into situations because we are probably always multitasking,
absolutely.
and we are read wrong just as they read. We read
Yeah.
them wrong too, or the situation.
I know I don't even try to read them. I'm gonna be honest with the ladies up here. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm a whack ass person because this is what I do. This is what I do now. I only hold doors for black ladies. I only hold doors for black folks. If I see an old white lady, I'm not even holding the door for her. I let the door shut. I'm sorry. We have dealt with so much that at least I can shut the door on you. And
So
I'm
no,
not saying
no, not at all. We can't.
I get
We
it, but
I'm
I
so
not
for
wasn't
me,
doing
saying
it.
for
I get it
me,
though.
I'm Michelle Obama. When they go low, I go high. I believe in I try to treat everyone good, right? Because I want to
Wait,
give
did you
them.
say? I'm sorry, I gotta pause you. I know you about to say a phenomenal nugget, but did you just say you Michelle Obama? When they go low, you like to go high?
That's what he
The
said.
way the way that you rock out in the group with the post that you put out there,
I go
I'm gonna
high.
remember that.
That's
Right.
So
right.
I
Call
go
out.
well
Call them
in the
out.
group. I go higher level intellect. See, that's what I do in the group. Um, but I'm
All
Yeah.
right,
saying that
I just had to like take that moment because I know
that
April was probably like, he said what?
You saw my face.
I
I
I
knew
did.
you saw my
I
face, right?
but what I know is that everybody is conditioned to certain things, right? And I know that a lot of the ways that we are looked at is because of media and social media and things of that nature, right? A lot of people may have never come into contact with someone of another color. They may have not. So for me, when I have that contact, I want to show that I'm not that because I'm not that anyway. So I'm going to call them out. That's why you hiding who you are. Who are you? All right.
Right, and they hiding who they are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I need to know who you are. So what I want to do is I just want to be the best person I can be because for me, I'm going to treat everybody with kindness, right? At the
I
end of
was
the day.
just thinking the same thing that Ronnie said because I've done it and been disappointed. I mean, I shouldn't be disappointed because you're doing something like that out of the kindness of your heart, but to have a grown older person not say thank you after
Because
you
I
hold the
think
door
that's
for
how
them,
it's
Like
it's
supposed
they
to go.
entitled, like they deserve.
right,
You don't open the door like you gotta serve them.
right. It's
No, but
like
see, but
I was
listen,
supposed
but
to do that.
we can't do things contingent upon how they feel. You did it because
Exactly.
that's what you're supposed to do as a person to be courteous.
I
If they
meet you
don't
where you
receive
at.
it,
I
no,
feel
no.
you down. I'm
If they
with
don't,
that.
I hear you. But if they don't receive it, that's on them. I'm not gonna let anybody damper my spirit. So I'm gonna hold that door. Whether you not thank me for it, I know I did what I was supposed to do. That's not gonna look bad on me. I look bad on you for being rude and ignorant. I'm not going to let that change me. So I'm gonna hold that door for the old white man, old white woman, that beautiful black woman, that beautiful black man. I'm going to hold the door because that's what I do, how I was raised. My morals are what they are, and are not a contingent upon who's in front of me. That's
Mm,
just me.
Listen, I hear you 100%. My morals have been thrown to the side by a whole bunch of white folks in my life. I'm from Pittsburgh. There ain't nothing but ignorant white folks there. So at a
mm,
certain point, you know what I do? I grab and hold my own. And listen, I don't take it personally. I hope they don't either, because y'all gonna see one day where I video footage me shutting the door on an old white lady, and ain't gonna care, not gonna care, because I'm in the business of meeting you where you at.
okay.
That's where I'm at. If you want to be foul, I got a foul button. It can get turned on real fast. If I'm extending the olive branch, like let's show some respect, man. Let's have some respect. But the problem is they don't respect us. A lot of them. A lot of. I'm a
No,
black man. I'm a black man, and old white women look at me
A
like
lot of
I'm
times though, but to be
supposed to
And
do
honest,
so.
they
it's
want to
real
be
interesting that even if you're taking care of them, because when I was working my way through college, I did home health care and
okay.
work, even though you're helping them and they're dependent on you, they can still treat you like crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had one woman, older white woman, who never even learned my name. As long as I worked for her, she would just ring her little bell for me to come. And I was helping her like literally function.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
That's
that, yeah, yeah.
It's the
I,
Doc.
entitlement
I'm
goes
slamming
big.
doors. Cuss you,
I
Doc. For
listen.
you, I'm slamming doors, Doc.
I
What'd you
think
say? What'd you say,
again.
Delrico? What'd you say,
Slamming doors
Delrico?
for you, Doc. I'm not holding doors to any old white ladies because what you did to
No,
Doc.
nah, that's not. Listen, people, you could be the change in a person to show them something different, right? I don't want to continue to show them a negative view of what they may feel of us. If you give them negative, then they have a right to feel the way they feel, right? They have a right to do what they do. You're encouraging them to have this, well, whatever privilege or something. And a lot of times when people meet people, you'll see like, oh, he's a lot different than I thought he would be. But that's only what we
Mm-hmm.
show, right? So I can't sit here and show negative to someone who I don't know and they have not did anything to me personally. If you do something to me personally, that's different. But I'm always going to show my best self to whomever is in front of me. That's just me, right? And I think that's the only way to promote change. We can't both be holding back and expect
All
change.
right.
Right, right, right.
I get
That's
it. I really
I
And
do.
get
I agree with you. I mean, which is how I've been, or how I've seen that people don't reciprocate so often, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I will be nice to you,
Hmm.
and hold the door. But I've seen so many times that people just aren't nice.
And I think it's people like it's black people don't
Yeah, I
they don't say thank you holding the door either. You know what I mean?
Oh, very true.
It's black people who do. Especially I know as a black male, sometimes other black males, I'm the biggest threat to them. Right? They may hold the door for that white person, but not me. Right? So I think and especially if I'm walking around the hood, if I'm not from that hood, I'm the number one threat in that if I'm new. Right? Who he? They're not greeting me like "What's up?" Like they might run down on me. You feel me? So it's a lot of dysfunction we have in our own community as well. It's not like sometimes we treat each other the best either.
yeah, true.
True. So
I
true.
mean, I hear that, but me being from not being from Philly and being from Pittsburgh, I can't live like that. I that means I would be scared to go everywhere in Philadelphia, everywhere. I
No,
listen
I'm not saying
with
being
my
scared because
people.
we still
With,
bop. You feel me? We go where we go, but I'm still saying you see the looks that sometimes other dudes give you who don't really know you, right?
of
You
course,
sometimes feel that
of
you
course,
feel that energy that we give each other, not even knowing each other, like we enemies and we don't even know each other. I'm just saying that we just for some reason as black men we already a lot of times have a negative view of each other, and the vibe sometimes ain't always good. I'm just just keeping it 100. That's why the murders are so high. That's why we kill each other at the rate we're killing each other because we don't love each other. You know what I mean? We're not embracing each other like we should. Uh, it just is what it is.
Right,
listen.
right, right.
You can hate yourself. You can not love yourself. But the way that I come off, the light that I've been blessed with, I'm like all that. Look, I'm not fearful of none of my people. If if I'm somewhere where I've never been, I'm not giving off I'm the toughest guy. I'm not giving off I want to. That's not the energy I'm giving off. I've been places that some of my friends now that I got in Philly is like, why are you there? I'm not scared to go amongst my people. That's never been an issue with me. The issue with me growing up where I grew up was that there's been a lot of foul white folks that have come across my path. You know what I'm saying? I know
I
there's
mean,
awful. I know there's awful black people. I know that. You know, there's no doubt about that. It weighs on both, but I feel more comfortable around my people
Oh, no doubt.
than
I definitely feel more comfortable around my people. But what I'm saying is that I still know in certain parts of this, certain hoods, it could go down just for you walking there, right? And I'm not saying you gotta be afraid or nothing like that. I'm saying that we just sometimes jump on each other for no apparent reason. Now, I mean, you
True.
walk in certain places, you will get G checked real quick, like, yo, homie, who are you? Why are you out here? And you don't have to be giving off any vibes. You feel me? I could be in my work capacity going to houses and they run down on you. You know what I mean? And I'm dressed for work. So we got to keep it real with that. In our community, we have a lot of hate towards each other. And that's a big problem why we can't grow because we're not on the same page and we're a lot of times at each other's necks. You know what I mean? We haven't learned to love each other truly. And that goes all the way back to our coming here, how we were brought here and how we were put together and
Yes.
taught not to like each other. So we still have that, that systematic slave mentality that is still today where we don't like each other because of it, right? And furthermore, I think that it's tough for black women to sometimes trust us because we couldn't protect them back then, right? We didn't protect them, and now we couldn't protect them now because with different things, we're out of the house and things of that nature. It's a lot going on in our community that we have to fix, that we need to really fix to move forward.
Yeah, I agree with some of that. I got my first glimpse of that as a young teen and living in a new neighborhood for myself, and getting a boyfriend from a different neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a birthday party and they rolled on him. No
Word up,
reason.
Wow.
word up.
No reason.
Yeah, yeah.
because of what?
They were.
It was because of it was because of what? It was
Yeah, hey,
hey now.
Del Rico.
Hey, Del
Yes, Del
Rico.
Rico.
Del
Yes,
Rico.
yes.
Wait a minute, Del Rico. I learned that later that I was supposed to be seeing somebody from the
From
current
the zip
neighborhood,
code,
not
yes.
bringing nobody in.
How you
You
gonna
Right.
ain't
get?
allowed to
How you
bring
gonna get with
nobody from
somebody
around the
outside?
other blocks.
Feel me? They said they had a certain number of women in their hood that was theirs, and you ordering out. Nah, they ain't gonna go down.
And Doc, you was chocolate back then, Doc. They was like, yeah, the little chocolate girl. Oh yeah, they put the gate around you.
Hey.
Wasn't nobody from no other
They
hood
said
allowed to
the
talk
one with the good hair. They said the one with the good hair.
Ain't she rocking stilettos? She not rocking.
You know what? The messed up part about that is the guys might have been saying that stuff, but the girls wanted to fight.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think
you was the chocolate drop.
Yeah.
Listening to
Chocolate Dawn with good hair. What, she got Indian in her family? We're gonna get her. All day. All day.
She thinks she cute. I did it. I really did it.
But listen, part of the problem, like Daryl said, I don't even think I do agree with him when he said we don't like each other, but I think people don't like themselves.
How about that? You guys start there.
Yeah. They look in the mirror.
You can just look at them and tell.
Yeah, I understand why. I wouldn't like me either. I ain't gonna say that because that ain't right. But people just need to find something or things about themselves that they like, man. And
it's tough to do.
That's the initial.
Yes.
Dude, my first instant with any type of racism or anything like that was from my grandmom. It was more of a colorism thing. We were dark. She was dark as I did, but she hated dark-skinned people. And she always told it, like my brother was light-skinned, and it was a big difference in how she treated us, right? A very big difference. And it made me feel terrible for a lot of my life. Like I had to deal with that and like forever. You know, it took a long time for me to realize that I'm beautiful. But I felt terrible because she instilled that in me. You know, she looked like me, but she like I just hate black people. You know, black people like you and that's the first time I ever dealt with anything like that. So it wasn't anybody of another race. It was my grandmother who looked like me, who was dark as me, who told me that I wasn't good enough. My skin color was dirty and ugly and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because she didn't like herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she dated all white men too, white or the lightest thing to it. You know what I mean? It was a paper bag test. They had to be lighter in a paper bag. Because if not, then she wasn't messing with it.
Wow.
And that's what I was saying about, the girls in the neighborhood talking about, oh, she thinks she cute. It took me until I was in my 20s to think I was cute. Absolutely. Because of all of the negativity, because negativity from the people in my circle. Like black this, black that. Like, black is not beautiful.
That was a derogatory thing. People use that as we bagging on you. You saying that like
absolutely,
right?
And me being as I'm light skinned and was super light as a young boy, so I heard the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Oh, you a white boy. You a white boy. Like
yeah.
Like it's sad we do that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of embracing. And I was lucky enough that my father wasn't in my life, but one thing he is like, he had to be a confident man because I've had confidence for a long, even when my ears didn't match my body and they was just out here all big, like that just made me become good at jumping.
Visual boy.
What'd you say, April?
The visual.
Right. The ears not matching his body.
Yeah, they wasn't. It was April. They was out there, man. They was. But Will Smith and Martin, I was like, yo, these two brothers got ears. I can have ears too, man.
Got you.
Look, that's right. That's right.
We are the worst in criticizing each other. We are the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You know,
and it comes from how our family plants those seeds and the differences of the skin tone or privilege and stuff like that. Like it just really dictates like a whole bunch of stuff that starts right there in the living room of the family. So it's like when you decide how your family is going to be or how you're going to approach people or what's acceptable and what's not, like it comes right from the core from the generation above you and the generation above that.
Absolutely. I mean, because when you're growing up,
what was that?
I think my cat and dog is fighting.
Your peers who are very, very important in your life at certain times, if they have these beliefs, they're also showering you with those things.
So it's like everybody from everywhere you look is coming at you.
I know one thing. If I had heard you're pretty to be dark skinned one more time in my life,
exactly,
like that's a compliment. People think that's a compliment.
And that's not a compliment.
That is not a compliment at all.
Not at all. That's a backhanded compliment. They don't realize what they're saying.
I mean, where I'm from, we had other issues. It wasn't about the color thing, the colorism. It was because we're a hodgepodge of everything in my family, so it didn't matter. So I don't know. I just had this confidence at an early age. Like I'd be like, I'm cute. Whether I got a hoodie and shorts on and slippers and I'm strolling through Walmart, or if I'm at the gas.
Walmart wasn't around when you was a little youngin'.
I'm like, what Walmart? When she got born.
Yeah, you wasn't at Walmart. You was at Caldor.
I was at what?
Woolworths.
You was at Caldor. You wasn't at Walmart. Woolworths. Yes.
It was
Kmart.
For me, it was Kmart or Walmart growing up.
It was not Walmart when you was growing up.
No, there was no
Walmart. In Texas, it was Walmart because I was like 8 or 9. That's when I started going.
Yeah, Walmart been in Texas for a long time.
It was Walmart down south.
Okay, I forget about that.
I'm
all right. So, Daryl, guess who the comment was from that we couldn't see their name?
Who?
Our girl Nat.
I knew it was her. I knew it was Nat.
Nat,
I knew it.
That. Hey girl, hey boo.
Funny, man.
You know I'm always starting something.
Nat couldn't wait to get back.
She couldn't wait. So I know, Daryl, you said a long time ago we done went down a rabbit hole of conversation talking about colorism.
Yeah.
You said with another person. I mean, it's great. I mean, it matches something else I'm doing, but I ain't trying to go down there right.
Mine was without another person.
Without another person.
Without another person.
Yes, he said. Daryl's talking about getting yourself together before you get into a relationship, right?
Yeah. Before you mess somebody else up,
that's important.
Please get yourself together. Please have yourself together before you mess somebody else up.
Amen.
You have somebody else thinking they're crazy, thinking it's them when it was you.
Right.
When you're bringing this drama and chaos to them, and now they're all messed up. Now they need it. Now they need help because of you. Let's not do that anymore. Let's not do that.
I didn't take one pill till I met you. Now I'm on 5 pills a day.
And you say it's me, right? And you say it's me.
Yeah, I'm popping these things now, though. I never took a Tylenol, man.
Yeah. Now I'm popping like Skittles.
Yeah.
Taking these things up like sunflower seeds.
You quiet. Oh, she went on mute. I was gonna say, what she got without another person?
What's up?
But it's fearful to be single to a lot of people.
It is.
They're afraid, and it probably goes in those conversations in the living room too that told them that they was always supposed to be connected with somebody, or girl, to get your bills paid, you need a man to do this, that, and the third. What about you pay your own darn bills?
That's a form of prostitution.
Yeah. A lot of people would rather mess somebody else up than be alone.
Yeah, right, Del Rico. I said prostitution. God, it was just dinner.
I mean, that's what they call it down south.
What they say, fair trade is not a robbery.
I'm not saying that, but
we are both benefiting from this transaction. I'm getting a W.A.P. and you getting your bills paid.
Wow, that's like that thing that you have found with the old man talking about he got this money. It don't matter. He just get his situation done.
Right.
Yeah, he said, look, he know how to get the young girls. He had a stack.
He said he need to talk to him. That's crazy.
That's the oldest profession in the world, man. That profession will never close. If you go on Twitter right now,
it's always gonna be
these women selling it for $3.99.
Wait a minute, What about the virgins?
Well, sometimes
Who was selling their virginity?
Yeah,
Who was selling their virginity online?
Why not set
I think one of them girls got close to $1 million.
Yeah, over that.
Yeah, because they about to expose you to a whole bunch of stuff.
Listen, it's an investment. Invest in yourself.
Well, people
it's also trauma.
Yeah,
her first experience is a paid experience. Like that's trauma.
Right. She said she got
to call you for
therapy.
Right?
Yes.
She can afford
I'm
therapy
good.
now.
I'm good.
You can definitely afford the therapy.
Right.
You know a whole bunch of sisters in the hood who didn't even get a Wawa hoagie for giving it up.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Hey,
you go
on the
$2.99
special.
I told her I had that bubble gum, and I ain't even have no bubble gum.
All I got is hard P. I got the last P.
Yeah, I forgot my bubble gum, so take this.
Yep, I got it. The last P. That's it.
Hey, so if you gonna go,
I know. I wish I had demanded more for mine.
Okay.
And maybe the first experience would have been worth something. Been pleasant.
Right.
Nah, they wouldn't. That don't mean it's gonna be pleasant because you paid for it. Well, it still might be gruesome. You might still be like, this
it's the worst situation ever.
Wait a minute, time out.
Yes.
I think every pump with that $1 million, she fine. She's like, oh yeah, okay, hurry up. I'm about to buy this car. You finished? Like, she good.
I don't know. Hey, D, you been there, D. We men, man. You done had somebody you didn't want to, and it's gross.
For $1 million, it got a lot better. Like $1 million. Oh,
you said just say for $1 million, it got a lot better.
It got a lot better.
Yeah, like it ain't get better, D. You just focused on that money, man.
That's right. You just focused on the money you just spent on it.
Yeah, that's so you're trying to get the value.
Yes.
And she might be upside doing handstands and everything else just because that's what you want.
Hey, it turned into.
Oh no! Don't sit down. Women get that, man. When somebody's touching you that you don't want to touch you, it's gross, man.
Yeah.
It's a gross feeling, man. And I had a girl touch me, and I had to run. So get that. Oh, listen, I'm with the ladies. Get that money, man, because you probably had relations with somebody that you trying to erase. Because women are good for that. They'll tell you that
he didn't count.
Hey, wait a minute, Mary. Did you just say it don't count?
It don't count. Yeah. It don't count. Yeah.
If you sweat too much, it's all over my face. That don't count. Like, get the front door off of me. Like, what the heck?
I bet you, if we call him, he counts it.
I'm about to say, yeah, as long as he's
right,
right,
for sure. For sure. On his list is Mary. Mary.
Yes. He said, F your feelings. It counted over here.
I was like, get up and get out my room.
Oh, that's bad. That'd be tough.
Or, Dad, you had a wife? What is this? Oh, no, you got to go. Don't count. Yeah. You had a whole wife? I know why y'all broke up.
Well, yeah. If he had a wife, he don't want you to count him either. Don't call him or tell nobody.
It don't count.
I don't deal with nobody's married man. I don't deal with nobody's married man. So I'm just saying. Let me be clear. As a relationship therapist, I don't deal with married. Yeah. Had to get out of that one.
God ain't bringing nobody else's husband.
I don't. It's some that may listen to this show that has, tried the proposition. I'm like, holla back. I'm gonna call them out. They're gonna call me and be like, why you call me out on the slide?
You're gonna see a bunch of checks in the comments.
You all right?
Yeah.
So, Doc, we ready for the real reason?
Go ahead.
So the real WAP is writing another phase for 2021. Relationship goals.
That is. That's corny.
That's not some
Get
whack
some
ass
hoes in
people.
this house. Get some hoes in this. Where that at?
I thought you didn't like that song.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
I'm great.
Dollar
You
Tree
know,
didn't
you was
close.
rushing out. I was gonna give it to you.
Yeah, we're going to see that in the morning. Yeah,
Right?
I'll be at Dollar Tree in the morning.
Yeah.
We're going to see that tonight when I get done.
Okay.
I think we gotta do a real show about WAP.
We really do. That might have to be a private show though, so we don't get in trouble.
We got to talk in codes. We're grown enough to kind of.
Now we're gonna have the most comments we ever had.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
I mean,
All right, so we'll have a real WAP question. But coming back into 2021, we wanted to set some relationship goals. You know, we talked about being a whack ass person or without another person, focusing on you. How are you gonna rewrite your script on how it is you show up in your relationship? I know I posted something in the group, if you're in the group, about who is that? Viola Davis?
Yeah, they take baths together
husband,
They
every
take a
day.
bath every day.
take a bath together every day. I was like, that's different, but nice.
At first, when I read it, it kind of seemed romantic, but I was like, I don't want my dirt mixing with somebody else's. It just didn't.
Yeah, I don't want all your dirt on me. Go shower
Oh,
first.
y'all taking the fun out of everything.
I
Y'all taking
Why
the
we
fun
can't
out of
wash each other up
everything.
and then make it sensual?
Exactly. Come on. He trying something. He's like, nah, I'm dirty. I don't mind.
I know
Never mind.
it's
know
nice
what?
to try.
Never mind. I mean, never mind. Can't
But
never
when I
mind.
kept thinking about
Never
it,
mind. Get out.
I just had to walk away.
Get your towel. Get your towel. Get out. I'm good.
Can't be get you out. You see that?
Get out. You and your dirt. Get out.
You're in the stand-up shower.
I don't know, man. I'm almost 6'3". I'm 6'2.5". That's different, man.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's different. That's different.
It's
If you ain't got no $1 million home, this is a regular tub. It's a regular tub. My legs is all the way to the wall.
Right.
That might be a good position to be in.
Right.
No,
If you just have your legs like open on the sides of the tub.
Yes.
The same
Wait,
thing.
you
Going up to that water.
My whole foot is on the floor outside the tub.
So I
If you're
guess
going up to that WAP, you want her leg to be all wrapped around something.
So we're going to have that WAP conversation now, right?
So
The
can
real
we
WAP
go to the
conversation now?
Apparently, right? Apparently.
It looks like it's starting now.
It looks like it just started.
Yeah.
April, like, I got to change rooms. I got to make sure I'm in a PG-13 room.
No, I need a drink.
I mean, what I do know, what I was raised on, you took a shower to wash all the dirt off first. Then a bath is just for relaxation.
Okay.
But I did showers, then the bath. I'm a bath person. That's just weird.
Is the bath something they're doing just for time together?
Y'all need to
say that again, Dirk.
But was the bath a thing just for them to have some time together, or was it like a cleaning type thing?
I think it was a mixture of both, but I think it was more so being pointed out that was how they connected as a couple each day, that they knew that was going to be their quality time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can take away from it. They had something for them. You know, theirs was bath. So you need something for you two to really connect. I feel that.
And there was some other suggestions that was given in the post as well, too, that was great.
Like what? I didn't get to read it. If you remember any of them. Okay.
I'm gonna go check it out. Because my memory.
I'm asking for a friend.
You're asking for a friend? Since we're in this WAP conversation about legs hanging over and so forth.
Hey, since the legs is open, we might as well go in.
Yeah, but now my ass is hurting because the tub is hard. Like, go to the bedroom, man. This is out of hand. I'm too old. You ain't gonna talk bad about me after this either, because I couldn't perform because the nerve in my ass being pushed on the tub. Like, so now, see all this, man.
They
like,
got tub pillows for that. Like, they got pillows to help you situate.
Pillow?
Yeah, if you gotta do all that, you're doing too much. We gotta have something else.
If you go, what's that place called? If you go into Cove Haven, they got the nice heart-shaped tub, and it's spacious for those long legs. And you can put the little pillows in the different places to help, height and comfort.
I'm a germaphobe, so I can't go to those type of places. I start thinking about how many
clean
people.
It first. You gotta clean it.
I don't know how much clean they can do, because in my mind, there's so many people's legs been all in and out of it. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't allow me to work.
Well, that's why I got one of those tubs at home. I did get one of those tubs at home. Like, I'm okay with it at home situation.
Yeah, exactly. I only can do it at home. I couldn't do it out.
I had the whole bleach scenario before we had cousin over in town. I had bleach and everything going on.
Yeah.
Because my mom too, and my own sheets. Like,
Yeah. I can start getting weird with stuff like that.
I also bring plastic underneath my sheets, because you don't know what people got in the bed. I'm good.
I'm good on that.
All right. I just was trying to provide a suggestion. What was mentioned in the post was consistent date nights or weekly couples yoga, daily sticky notes left around the house, and keeping the spark of love after 34 years. That's what the person has been doing.
Okay.
Oh, that's what's up.
I like date nights.
34 years. That's
34. That's a lifetime.
Absolutely.
I got 3 friends that long. I only got 3 friends.
Well, you got 3. At least you got 3.
I'm thinking, and one of them locked up, man.
Oh, he had no choice but to be. Well, he got a choice. He got a choice.
He's only my friend because I write him letters.
He's your pen pal.
But yeah, one of the things about moving a relationship forward is small acts of kindness, like leaving notes, doing the basics. Please, thank you. People forget about that kind of stuff when they're in a relationship for a long time.
Because the days become so humdrum. And they go by so fast with work and kids and everything. You really forget those little things. You do. I agree.
That's why I say there's a difference between dating and being courted.
Yes, that's
for the fellas.
Right.
I was courted.
We got to do something. If it's I love yous or I care about you notes, you got to do something, because she will be off to the next brother who's leaving sticky notes.
I don't know. See, I don't know how true it is, because some women won't tell you. They'll just sit there and just keep going on and just be terrible for X amount of time, right? Because women really sometimes put up with a lot. They'll put up with a lot,
But the problem is, if she's getting those sticky notes from a coworker.
Yeah,
the work husband.
Hey, listen, she getting those sticky notes with or without your sticky notes, right? Your wife is probably getting them anyway. So what I'm saying is that, I believe that, if your wife's attractive, they still shooting their shot. They still doing what they doing, right? That's that. Oh, I gotta work, husband.
Right, but if you're doing it at home, the door is not open for somebody else.
Wait, time.
If she's allowing the sticky
notes, the door is open.
Guy still got
right?
a shot.
If she's allowing the sticky notes, the door is open. Right? If she's getting sticky notes at both home and work, she's still allowing the sticky notes to happen, right? There shouldn't be no sticky notes at work.
But sometimes the reason for the sticky notes is because you almost in a don't count situation at home.
Yeah, your little sticky notes at home don't mean nothing. Work and penis is what the new W.A.P is.
Say it again.
That's a good one.
Sticky notes all on her desk.
Yeah.
I think Del Rico had one too many beers.
No. Hey, bro, I'm still on this. It's the same beer.
It is.
Well, maybe you need to reduce it to a quarter.
No, but I think that Rico is right though.
Point, yeah.
You getting flowers at work. You getting sticky notes. You getting taken to lunch.
Or people cooking and bringing dinner in and talking about, they texting you, I'm going to warm it up.
They also getting closet foreplay.
Getting
That
wealthy.
Right?
that
Right.
too.
Foreplay. What's that?
He wore out by the time she come home.
They're all
Yeah.
taking notes.
Girl, what you doing when she get home?
He done took her mind on a roller coaster.
She come home like, ooh, I gotta go to sleep. I need a nap.
Exactly.
Yes, he does.
Like, it was a long day. We was arguing.
Like, damn, baby, all you
Right
was on
there.
the register.
Be like it was a long day.
Hey.
Yes,
She
yes.
gonna get. Oh wow, yeah. Listen, I see.
So you gotta
deeply
watch
she makes
those
sense.
work husbands and work wives.
Oh, you shouldn't have to watch them
But
because you
not
shouldn't have them.
always.
You shouldn't
I
have
done
them. No,
had work
always.
husbands, and it's not that deep. It ain't
No, it is
going
that deep.
nowhere. I'm
It
trying to
is
work
that.
and go
No,
home.
it's not going anywhere because you haven't let it go anywhere yet. But you, like I said, it's like Chris Rock said, it's a thing in a jar. Break when you need it. That's what it is. So that one
Okay.
time you're vulnerable, when you say yes, that's what we're gonna say. Okay, it's going somewhere then. You feel me? Because you're too familiar. Again, that's what leads to most things is being familiar.
Most men, a man will hold out his whole life for one shot.
For that one, yeah.
Absolutely,
Sure will.
absolutely.
What?
10
And
years,
the woman be
10
like, he's
years.
my friend. He ain't your
Yeah.
damn friend.
He's trying to bag you.
Ain't no man your friend. I hate that lie.
No man
We're
is your
friends.
friend. You
No
women,
man is your
again,
friend.
I've
He's
said
trying
it
to bag
before
you.
on Relationship Flow. Women, y'all ain't that cool.
No,
Y'all ain't that
no.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that.
Like, man is talking about football and sports and all this other stuff. You
Yeah.
want to talk about what you want to talk about. So if he is around you, it's for a reason. It's
reason
for
alone.
you look good in that work dress.
Yes.
You look good in them work heels. And yep, he gonna say, that's my friend, that's my friend. And hoping for the day that you vulnerable. Because that
Absolutely.
friendship is gonna go to WAP real fast.
Real fast.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
disagree with that.
The work
No,
and
you
penis.
can't. Again, so
I disagree.
you can disagree, but
Work
you're a
and penis.
woman. I'm telling you, we're talking from a male perspective. We're telling you from a male perspective. So you can
Right.
disagree because you want to be able to disagree. You don't want to think that he's thinking about you that way. You want to try to keep you in that space. But I'm telling you, he's in that space because he want to get in that space.
Now you
Why you
I know
disagree?
that, but
Wait a minute. Why you disagree, April?
Because I've had plenty of guy platonic friends.
I can't stand y'all.
Okay, that's why she had to get a drink. Let me
I
get
can't
my
even get out of that relationship.
Wait a minute. She said that. Daryl started cracking up.
Oh, she had a lot of friends. Hey, listen, I never met a girl. I'm like, yeah, I want to play basketball with you. No.
No,
I just want to.
I want to hear you out, April, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go
Please make
ahead,
it make
April.
never mind. Next topic.
sense.
No.
Tell us
No.
about your, tell us
You
about
had
your
a couple
friends,
friends,
April.
so what happened?
Tell us about your friends. Tell us about your
Y'all
friends.
are
April.
not putting me on the spot. Y'all are not
You
putting me
sure?
on the spot.
You put yourself on your spot when you start talking about your friends.
No, but I'm just saying
What
that
about
it
your
is possible. Are you gonna let me talk?
I'm sorry, go ahead, April.
I'm just saying it is possible, I think, at least on why did you call me out?
Because we gotta hear this.
Yes! Yes! Hilarious!
That is not right, Mary. That is not right.
We didn't want to miss nothing by being distracted.
We are setting 21 off.
Oh,
We're
that
setting it
was
off.
a good one, Mary. Good job, Mary. Good job. Working
I'm sorry,
camera,
everybody.
man.
Go ahead, April. We got you. We
Mary.
listening. Go ahead.
Okay, I won't do it again. Not right now, anyway.
No, I'm just saying it is possible to have a platonic friend.
It is.
Okay, that's it.
So,
It
again,
is. But
platonic
listen,
in your mind.
it's all on the woman. Women,
Exactly.
you control that. You control that.
Thank
If you
you.
keep him in that lane, it's a possibility he'll stay in that lane. But at some point in time, he's going to let you know he won't come out that lane. It's
you know.
It's predator and prey. It's his nature. This is man we talking about. Men want to conquer. So, April, call your friends and ask them. Call them friends, April, and say, if I gave you a chance, would you go ahead and knock it down? Because they're going to knock it down.
I guarantee nobody will say, no, we're good friends. I just want to be platonic, and I just want to keep it friendly. That's not going to happen.
Brother going to be at your front door tonight.
At the front door.
Wait, and how you knocking, Daryl? How you knocking, Daryl? Like this.
and he's gonna be knocking on the door.
That is not true.
And he's gonna be knocking, and his hands are gonna be here. You're gonna hear something knocking.
Y'all tripping.
And guess what? He's gonna be ready as soon as he comes in the door.
I don't want you to think it ain't nothing against you. It's nothing against how you may perceive your friendship with these guys. Men are different. Men are who men are. You know what I'm saying? That you may not agree with it, but if you gave every man that's in your phone an opportunity, 99.9%, even the ones that got girlfriends, married, they coming over to the house.
Live with their mama.
The only man that will not take that opportunity is he won't. That's the only man. That's the only man that you have nothing to worry about.
Oh my gosh!
And even then, you don't know. So I'm telling you.
I've read stories about men pretending to be that way and then coming out to the friend like, I'm in love with you. I want to be with you.
Yes.
I just did the whole time.
You
the
can't
power of the WAP.
Yeah, you can't put a
good WAP. It can change a man who like other men into loving women again.
Wow. The
power of good WAP.
You can't put a lion and a deer in the same room and expect them to be friends, right? That lion's gonna end up eating that deer every time.
Wow.
So if you give that,
you have broken a lot of women's spirits right about now.
You sure?
Because they call it all their male friends.
They're like, okay, well, who can I text? Like, wait a minute.
So, like Delbrick said, the woman is in control because once she allows whatever to happen, right? He's going to be there. If you keep him in that friend zone, he's going to be there. But he's waiting. He's waiting for that slip up. He's waiting for you to come over and say,
he's waiting for the shoe to drop.
Oh, listen, I had a bad. I can't believe he did this to you. I'm like, what'd he do? I can't. He cheated. Did he cheat? Come on in. Let's talk about it. And
right?
His hands are going to be like this.
Sit on
the
couch. Hey, people, I appreciate y'all. I got a 7-year-old who is tripping.
Okay. It's good to see you, Delrico.
Happy New Year.
Have a good one. Y'all love y'all.
Happy New Year. Take care.
Oh, goodness.
You know what I mean?
Daryl, you're a mess.
I listen, I'm just telling you, all the friends you have, we're all the friends you have.
Don't say it like that. I don't have a whole bunch of male friends.
No. I'm not saying you have a lot. And again, you may have a lot of male friends because men want to be around you. Why wouldn't they want to be, right? A beautiful woman, a good conversation. Right. We wouldn't mind being around that. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't mind getting that
Oh man.
No, and again, it's nothing.
Mary, I owe you.
You owe me?
Yes,
what
I
you
do.
Owe me? Because you ain't got a drink. What you owe me?
No, I owe you. We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Oh man. So after your run, Daryl, you might as well post something because she gonna have me up talking.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It's true. It's true. Unfortunately,
it is, and it's tough because I mean we are still a high functioning animal, right? So we do have some type of animal instincts that will come into play when we're with each other. You know, we're supposed to. Men and women are supposed to be together. So you know, if you're supposed to be with someone and you get to know them, and the more you talk to somebody, and you're like, wow, she's really cool. I like talking to her. That's going to make it even.
Of course, that's how emotional affairs start.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It was cool. We were at work. We were just talking, and it was so good. We can laugh, and I can't talk to my husband or my wife like that.
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
right. That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Or your hands on the copy machine like this. Your hands on the copy machine and.
What?
You funny.
Oh man. That made me forget what I was getting ready to say.
That's all something about the closet.
The closet. Oh yeah, listen. Wherever, at work you gotta make it do because you can't go home. You only got work hours. You gotta make it do for work hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
some
time to
working
get it.
conditions make it real conducive and easy.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
listen.
Yes.
That's
Like
true.
So,
a residential or a hospital or
Uh-huh.
yeah,
make it
yeah,
real
a
convenient.
lot of,
Yes, it does.
closets and office with doors that lock and
Uh-huh.
Y'all are telling
uh-huh.
on yourselves.
Or
I'm telling
hallways.
you,
No,
this is what everybody do. This ain't nothing new. Hey, April,
Oh,
stop,
I know.
stop,
Mhm.
stop.
Stairwells.
You know what goes
listen,
on. Yeah, oh, stairwells, yes. One side,
Bleachers,
one
like
side,
high
the
the
school.
stairs go up a
bleachers.
little higher.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say go
Yeah,
a little higher?
on one side of the old building, the stairs went a little higher on one side.
It's called the fire escape.
Oh,
Right?
I don't know if it was called a fire escape, but it was an escape that was
It was
high.
a fire and some things was escaping.
Oh
Yes, you
gosh.
come back to work feeling good, like whoa, I can't ready to get back to work.
So let me ask you guys this. If you're writing another phase of your relationship, how do you protect your relationship from this kind of stuff?
Right. That's a
Well,
great
I
question.
think
Trust.
the question is, can you, right? Can you protect? Because you're not in control of anyone else, right? So all
Mm,
you can do is do the best you can and put your best foot forward. Independent of what you
right,
do, someone can still run out and do whatever. You can be
Right.
giving your 100%.
right.
I hear a lot of times people in relationships giving their all, giving 100%, and that person is
Mm-hmm.
still out there doing. I remember being in California at this club with a lot of millionaires, right? A lot of rich people, and we were talking, and the dude said something. He was like, "Man, show me the prettiest girl in here, and I'll show you a guy who's tired of having sex with her." Right?
Mm.
Mhm.
It depends on mindset. So you could be a perfect person. You can't really stop them from doing anything. You can just do
Nope.
the best you can, and hopefully the person will follow suit.
I agree with you. I talk to mostly women about this concept because oftentimes they're spinning their wheels and spending a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time trying to stop something from happening, trying to stop their partner from cheating. So you're
Mm-hmm.
not taking vacations, you're not going places without him because you're afraid of what might happen when you're not around, but you can't stop it.
You
People
can't.
make
That's
time
very
for what they want.
weird.
So if it's
Absolutely.
it could be 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
okay.
you can't stop it. So you can't stop living your life.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just say focus on your personal goals and what you need to do, whether it's work, professional, whatever. I think that's kind of weird to be doing that. The time that I spent on you, I could have got a whole new degree.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm just saying, I could have did
Wow.
something productive. It ain't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to invest a lot in worrying because that worrying may be the end of your relationship because if they're not doing something, you're always thinking something, that becomes a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do your best in trying to focus on your relationship and making it the best relationship you can. Who's that?
That's
Sorry,
April going twice.
sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
I like.
Here we
And
go.
I think about stress being like the number one killer. So why am I stressing myself over you? Are you worth it?
Absolutely,
I'm worth
Right.
absolutely.
more. I am worth
Hmm.
more.
Well, it's not about being. I don't think it's being. I think that it's just more. It's not conducive to worry about something that doesn't happen. I think once something happens, then you can try to talk about it or whatever the case may be. But
Okay.
if you're worried about something happening all the time, that's like writing a check that you're not going to cash. When something comes up, you
I'm
deal with it.
cashing checks.
Until then, I'm not putting that in the atmosphere either. I don't want to keep putting in the atmosphere that's going to happen. They're going to cheat. They're going to cheat. They're going to cheat. Well, yeah, no, why they're cheating because you're always worried about something.
You put it
You're
in
not
there.
present, and yeah, you're not present in your relationship because you're worried about something else that happened that's not happened. Right? You're pushing that person away.
Hmm.
You have to
Hmm.
kind of just again try to have the best relationship you can have, and if something comes up, then you deal with it at that time. But wearing is not going to make it happen or not happen. To be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's like self-sabotaging your own situation. Like
Mhm.
if you
Absolutely.
welcoming that energy in there, then you like intentionally, like that's your intention for the
Yep.
relationship to break up based off of cheating because you planted that seed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that if once you start planting that seed, you'll see things to be that way, right? You'll see
Yes.
that person
Yes.
at work when they leave and they're kind of walking a little close to them. Oh, I know what you're doing with her. Like you
Uh-huh.
start manifesting things because this is where your mind is, right?
Yes.
Right.
So that's you're putting
Right.
yourself in a space that's not good anyway for you or anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. or he ain't call me. He used to call me all the time. He
Yes,
must be
yes,
talking to somebody else. Like you just create these unnecessary scenarios, and
absolutely.
like for what?
And I know that always bothers me, especially if I'm not doing anything. And oh, you were home 5 minutes later than you normally are. What's going on? I'm like, in 5 minutes? Like what? What? I'm
Like
now.
traffic? Like did you
Yeah,
hear
now.
about traffic?
Yeah. So now I start feel you don't trust me. Now the relationship is gonna start deteriorating because I'm like, well, I'm like, well, what you doing then? You in this frame of mind? It just does not do good for a relationship, and it's not good for me, especially if I'm being good. Like if you getting a good me and you start listen, listen,
Said the good me.
you know,
Good
listen.
me.
If I'm being bad, then I'm like, that's different. But if I'm being good and nah, we ain't doing that. That bothers me. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work blocking all the extra WAP out there. Okay, I'm blocking it. Uh, that's a lot of work. Okay, yes, it's a lot of work. Okay,
That
so
is hilarious.
if I'm working hard to block it, and you are not, and you keep thinking I'm not, then I'm just gonna let it in.
Yeah, and after a while, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
It's like the person who keeps telling their
so sad.
partner, "I'm not good enough for you." Eventually, they say, "Yeah, maybe you're not."
Absolutely. I
Right.
would say I agree. I agree. I'm good at agreeing that whatever you say, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and try to make say the opposite for you. Oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Well, you're not. Okay. Maybe I got to work on that, but that's where I'm at because I can't. Your delusions will not be my downfall. I can't. So if you feel that way,
The other thing too is like when somebody has made, like, say the cheating happened in a relationship and it was because they drank too much or something like that. If they stop drinking and they stop cheating and you still holding them accountable to the old behavior, like what phase of the relationship are you really living in? Are you in the present moving forward with forgiveness, or are you still anticipating that, oh well, they're gonna go back to that at any time? Why are you there?
that's a good question. See, that's my question. If you're not going to allow me to, if I say, look, it was a mistake or whatever, and we're trying to move on, and I'm showing you different, and I'm definitely showing you different, like, then I would want you to, kind of accept that and let's move forward. But a lot of people don't. They get stuck in a moment and worry about it happening again. And that's going to be a problem too. I don't want to hear about every time I came home 5 minutes of work. What were you doing? Were you with that chick again? Yes, I was. I'm going to say yes. I need to work on it, but that's what it is. Because I don't want to do that. Like I'm trying to be better. I understand it was my fault if it was my fault and I had indiscretion with someone or whatever the case may be. But I'm moved past that, and I'm trying to show you. But it's only so much you can take, even if you made a mistake.
Right.
What do you want me to give you at this point? I don't know what else to do to make you happy when I understand I did it, but you're not letting us grow at this point. You're stifling our growth with this.
And
But
you end
that's
up making a decision that they're not going to change, like that you're not willing to put in the work, which may be coming to counseling, as well as embracing forgiveness for real, and not worrying about what other people think or say about you. But it's like, what do you really want? Are you a person that just want to have something to complain about like all the time, and this is the thing you're gonna keep pulling out?
I think it goes to what Daryl points to on the thread all the time, is that it just their insecurity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that insecurity again, in that case, maybe I facilitate it by starting it. But if I'm trying to help you get out of it, let's grow. But like I said, how many people know what true forgiveness is, right?
Right.
And that we start with there. If you're coming into something not knowing how to forgive anyway, then you don't really know how to do it. And that's why I'm learning that people need help outside of their relationship a lot of times to deal with some of these issues because you never knew how to deal. You may have never seen it. Like for me, I don't know if I've seen it growing up. I don't know really what it really looks like. So when you come into these situations, you don't know how to overcome these situations because where have
Mm-hmm.
you seen it overcome successfully? If you haven't
Right.
seen something, sometimes you haven't seen the model for something to work. You don't know how to do it, right? And if
Right.
you have two people that are blind trying to fix something, they don't know how to fix it. It's going to cause problems a lot of times. So you have to really be have enough wherewithal to say we need to step outside ourselves and we need to go get help to fix this situation.
I mean, and that comes with communication too, because a lot of times you think that you're communicating, but communication shows up so many different ways.
Yes,
And
yes.
what you grow accustomed to, like if you grow accustomed to not spending time with your partner, then you also grow accustomed to not even communicating about planning a special date or
Mm-hmm.
planning like a certain message that you put in the lunchbox or around the house in the space that your partner is going to be in. And it's like, okay, how can you hold yourself and be responsible for what you can control, as well as that person doing the same thing and agreeing to communicate together, as
Yeah.
opposed to being a team of I, it's a team of we.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's tough because in a lot of situations, like I said, you continue to point out what the other person's doing, and I think that's a problem. I think we need to point at ourselves and try to see what we're doing,
Yeah, pick
how
up that
we're
mirror.
how we're affecting the situation, right? If this person did cheat, but if I continue to say this about it, does this help it or hurt our relationship? And that's a lot of times we don't have that point where we can really look at ourselves and see how we're becoming a problem because we're like, no, well, they cheated, they did. Now, if we stand together, how do we get past this?
Right.
How can I help us get past this? And
And the
that's what we
whole
got to
world
start
don't
doing.
have to know what our steps and plan is. Like,
Listen, stay off Facebook, right?
right.
Girl, what do you do? I can't believe he did. Listen, stop. Stop getting advice from a whole bunch of other people who don't know the answer to the question either.
And
Talking
everybody's
to your friends.
relationship is unique.
Yes, yes.
But the blind like leading the blind.
Oh, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. You're telling me what to
Exactly.
do, but your man and cheated on you 900 times and got a baby, but you're telling me what to do. How's that work?
You said 900.
You're telling me to leave him, but you still with Eric over here who's been doing his thing. It's so confusing how people can't see their own situation but got the answer
Right.
for yours.
Right.
Very interesting, and
Right.
and, and we got to really. That's we got. Sometimes we got to step outside of our circle and get some help that's kind of neutral. They
Yes.
may know a little bit more than us.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
And it ain't somebody getting all in your business. I mean, it is, but it ain't. Like that person don't even know you. They're there to provide a service so that you can
Absolutely.
have a clear way to the bridge that's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Again, help yourself get fixed. Like I said, car is broken, you take it to mechanic. Go get daily tune-ups. Get tune-ups and things like that. Get help for these things. A lot of things you don't know. You think but if you really ask somebody, like you said, what's a relationship? Sometimes you ask people, and when you ask, they're like, well, it's they don't really know what it is to begin with. So I think people are getting in these things and not even knowing what a relationship is, what marriage is, it's just we don't know a lot of things that we think we know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then we only have the examples, which we may not even have that. If the
Absolutely.
if the example is the what they call those reality shows, that's not an example. That's
And
not
it's
somebody
Not a
that's
good
told.
example.
It's not a good
Not
example.
a good example.
but the problem is
And
the only examples we have, and it's
Yeah.
really crazy and you see a lot of relationships are really like that. I
Yes.
see a lot of times I be at people's houses and you see them
Yes.
they turning up on each other. I'm like, whoa, like ain't that your girl? Like y'all about to fight.
Right. And when they see it on television, it's kind of confirmation to them
Absolutely.
that this is okay.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. So again, they're doing it and they got money. And no, listen, stop. And that's why we have some better representation. There is really no good representation that I
Mm-hmm.
see on TV of us, and they promote this nonsense, which we're already a very, our community is very fractured as it is. And it's just nothing really positive. That's why we need more programs like this to really have some real talk and let people know, like, listen, getting help, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Right.
Doing the same
Right.
thing over and over again, and you see that the results aren't changing, you
It's,
need to change something, right?
yeah.
Or just like, oh gosh, she gonna kill me. Okay, I'm not gonna say it that way. This show that we were added into, Daryl, where the
Mm.
lady was talking about you got to train the people. Remember that? You got to train the people on how to be a husband or how to be a wife, not
Oh,
it being a shared conversation.
was
Yes.
that the one I invited?
See, I was trying not to say your name. I was just gonna say that,
Yeah.
that Daryl and
Yeah.
I was invited. That's
Yeah.
all
I was
I was
like,
gonna say.
whoa.
It's
Yeah, I don't know. She was all over the place. I was like,
She was
whoa.
all over the place. But you know what? I went back and I listened to the beginning, and it was a
Okay.
therapist on in the beginning that kind of helped center the conversation, but they had to get off early. So it was like the fact that she got off early, then it was like she was the only female voice that was speaking, and
right.
her thought process is a thought process that's real, but it is archaic. It's not
Yes. Yes.
current.
But
Absolutely. Yes.
But I
And I was
think
like,
in that conversation, she was speaking from a generational perspective. Two, remember her background was her parents. Her father or her parents were pastors, so religion was a and faith was
A strong factor.
yes, exactly. So I think those influences, you know, having that as a background influenced her the way she thought that we should go, as a woman, train our men to be husbands. So,
What about the women?
her she was trying to say that we should train our men to be husbands, to be the protectors, to be the providers.
but
Because
see,
now, go ahead, Daryl. I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that she had a lot of traditional values, taking into
Oh shucks.
So
She
my question is, I
we
mean, I
should have invited you too,
wasn't
Doc.
there, huh?
We should have invited you too.
Right. My
Yeah.
question is, isn't that kind of one sided?
Well, my thing was, so if we're talking even traditional from the church, a woman couldn't teach a man to do anything anyway, if that's what she was coming from, right? If she's talking about religious way. But how can a woman train a man to be a man? That right there to me was
Exactly.
kind of bizarre because you can't. You're a woman. I'm a man. I can't train a woman to be a woman. I don't know what it is to be a woman, right? So I can't tell you what it is to be a woman. I can tell you maybe what
Right.
I expect from you. Like I expect you to do X, Y, and Z, but I can't tell you what it is to be a woman. So a woman can't raise a man to be a husband. And if you got a husband that you're trying to raise, then you already made a mistake, right?
Exactly.
You raise children. You don't raise grown people, right? So that's the problem in what she was saying, where it was get out of here. That's the problem. It's crazy. Look, and that's the problem with her whole thing was that right there left a bad taste in my mouth when you're saying someone has to raise someone. That just doesn't make sense to me, right? Because you can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. You can only say, look, this is what I expect from you. That's it. But you can't raise me to be a husband. You just can't.
Exactly.
It's just something that you can't do. And that's what I was like, whoa, what is she talking about?
And then the ideal doctor she also shared was that a man should never see a woman pay for something, like never. And
I like
I,
that idea.
I mean,
See what I'm talking about? Look, listen.
But before I was rudely interrupted by my internet.
right.
So again, she has traditional values. Remember, and then it was also cultural. I don't know if you came into if you watched it from the beginning, then you knew that she wasn't in on the grounds of or the US. So she was
Right.
um I don't know where she was, but in other cultures, it's norm. The norm is that the man is always the provider. The man takes care of everything. So
Let me
she's
finish.
coming from
I'm not
a
thinking, oh, you're going to get
cultural
away from me. Don't beat your
perspective,
book up. No more kids.
traditional
Okay.
values, the religion values that she, grew up in. So her perspective, which is what she was conveying, that men should be the provider, men should be the leaders, men should be the protectors. So from that perspective, I understood where she was coming from. At the same time, we are on the U.S. grounds, and
Where
we
men are
are
so
in.
comfortable being bums.
No, see again, this is the problem. The problem I had with her, right? If she's saying all this stuff, well, what is a woman supposed to do? This is why women are treated so subservient in other countries because the man is doing everything so he can control that woman now. He has the right to
Exactly.
because you said you should do this and you got to provide and you got, well, you know what you got to do? You got to do what I say now. That's the problem with her way of thinking. It's very archaic
Well,
and it leads to that male dominating that woman because if you're telling me this is what I have
right.
to do, and
Yeah.
I'm doing like 100% of everything, what are you doing?
Hmm.
Mm.
And that's the problem with her way of
And I
thinking to
think
me.
that part of the conversation wasn't explored in that particular conversation is the
Right.
role of the woman. She did not talk about that.
She
I
ain't
do
offer none of that.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're right. She
as a
didn't.
woman, she should have offered more of that because a woman can speak to what a woman is, wants, and how they should act. That's what she could speak
Absolutely.
to,
Mm.
as opposed to telling me what a man should do. Right? That's to me. I don't like I said I don't really think a woman
And
can
it
tell
just
a
felt
man what to
violent
do.
to me. It
It
just felt
was.
like it just felt like it was welcoming violence in my relationship.
Mm.
Absolutely,
Violence and
absolutely,
resentment.
yes.
Mm.
When you're giving somebody
Okay.
keys like that, what relationship do you have where you're giving someone so much power? You're saying
Mm.
you're giving this person so much power over this woman.
Mm.
So she's not. What is she supposed to do then? Be barefoot and pregnant? Like it didn't. It just was very interesting, and I wish she would have got into what her role was.
Mm.
Mm.
For sure.
True.
Well, that's an American view.
Well, like I
Oh,
said, but you see in other countries
that's
where
what
women
my
are don't.
passport say. So, oh,
No,
You-
and I'm being sarcastic about it,
no,
but
I know, I am too.
that
but you
I'm
see in
being
other
sarcastic.
countries. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, go
In
ahead.
other countries, you see women wanting to have more freedom. You see
Mm.
women wanting to get from under that way of thinking.
Mm.
That like I said, that's archaic to say that this is how it should be and it has to be this and yada. That's archaic. A lot of women want to that women can't drive in certain countries. They just started being able to drive like last year because of that way of thinking. So that's not that
So
to
that means
me.
I gotta stay in the house like his cousin C virus
You
until
understand?
you come
Because
home and drive me
So
somewhere.
so the
absolutely,
message
because
that
you
I
have
got
no
from
money.
her, the message that I got from her is that in other cultures, men are more of the leaders.
True.
Whereas in America, we're treated as equal because we as women are demanding to be equal.
Mhm.
We are demanding to be the leaders.
Mhm.
Whereas she was saying in other cultures, the majority of the cultures, women aren't the leaders. You know,
Mhm.
And their
so
religion stuff plays a part in it too.
the
Mm.
religion plays a
Yeah.
part of it. Is religion,
So,
culture. I want to say those were the
Ageism.
two. I'm sorry, ageism. Yes,
Ageism.
generational.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Or just
So
misogyny.
the traditional
You
Thank
know?
you.
values, the traditional values, and I have to say, from personally speaking, I still have certain traditional values, but I also feel like I am a woman. I have my own independence, but honestly speaking, I want the man to be the leader of my home.
right. Would you
Ex-
want to be with a man who you
See,
felt like
exactly.
couldn't protect you?
There's
but
nothing
remember,
wrong with
But
leading,
that.
that's a different definition
yeah,
though.
exactly. Leading is very different, right? Leading could be interpreted in many different ways. If I can
Mhm.
make less money and still lead, right? It has nothing to do about your financial.
Yeah,
How you
yeah,
lead
yeah,
your
yeah.
home is independent of what's coming in or whatever the case may
Right,
be, right?
right.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. You may not be the provider because maybe the woman makes more. That's
Right.
fine, but you
Right.
still could actually lead your home, and it doesn't
Right.
have to be where you're ruling over that person. Because even as a like, I think you both are equal, but then he may lead your maybe some of your decisions or whatever the case may be,
Right.
or
Hmm.
even leading may be she's better at this. I'm gonna let her take care
Exactly.
of the bills, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have to
Yeah.
take care of the bills. Me controlling everything or doing everything is not being a man. Me being a man leading is getting the best out of my relationship, and that may be like I said. She may have to take care of the bills because I'm terrible at it. I'm not going to play
Right.
like I know something and now we
Exactly.
lost our house,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So leading is right. So we have to lead, but leading means getting the best out of both of us.
Do not
Yes,
give
Mhm.
of
Daryl a
course.
bill.
And,
Do
and that's
not
But
give
what
you
she
know,
Daryl a
Do
did
not
bill.
give
today.
Daryl the bill,
No.
Because we
No.
gonna be in
and
trouble.
or bring your extra bag and leave it in the
right.
drawer and be like, "I'll be
Thank
back."
you. Thank you. Yes.
And even without that, the quote unquote leading piece,
Right.
I think most women want to feel protected by their man,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Mhm.
Protect it,
protected.
support it.
Emotionally supported,
Yes,
physically
Yes.
supported.
yes.
Right,
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if I
And
feel
and
like
I
you can't protect me, the
Oh,
relationship is going down.
and
absolutely.
and and honestly speaking, guys, I think in that particular conversation, although she didn't really say it, I think that's what she was trying to convey, that we,
Oh no.
oh, no, you don't think
Wait,
that?
listen to her out, Daryl. Hear her out.
I'm
Hear her
sorry.
out.
Go ahead.
Right, right. Let her
I,
finish.
I feel like we on making comments. You know how we go
Let
with
her
that. I'm ready.
finish,
I'm ready
Daryl.
to go. I'm
Let
ready to
her
go at any
finish.
moment. I'm
Go
sorry. I'm
ahead,
sorry.
April.
So
I'm
I just
sorry.
feel like, and again, I'm just trying to come from the mindset of this woman who is, and it sounds like, or it appears that she's a little bit older than I am. So I'm just assuming, from that generational, that she feels like she wants to be protected, supported, and our American black men, we're not doing that. They're not doing that
Yeah. Yeah.
anymore, and we're missing that component, when it comes to the black family, keeping the family together, and the family, black family unit, period. We are missing that component. So why can't, and it's practiced and it's valued in other cultures that way. Why can't we keep that the same in our culture? And I mean,
Well,
so go ahead.
Who?
Well,
oh,
I
okay.
think
Daryl.
part of it is that, and I hate to say this, but our black men have been taught not to protect us.
Right.
Well, maybe not even taught, but not allowed, right? Remember, when we
We're
first
not
came over
allowed.
here,
That's
we
a
weren't
better way
allowed
of
to protect
saying
them,
it.
right?
Yes, that's a better way of saying it. Not been
Mhm.
allowed to protect us.
And that
Mhm.
goes way back
and it
in
became
history.
yes, and it almost became a learn innate, right? So every time we tried to get close and protect them, they wouldn't allow us. And then you get welfare where we can't be in the homes. It just
Right.
became a thing where we didn't have that, and um, so we don't know how to do it. And not only do we know how to do it, think about it. Women don't trust us to do it, right? They're not
Mm.
even giving us a chance a lot of times because they already say, you know what, they're not doing it. We learned
Yes,
that you never protected us since we've been
yes,
here. You've never
Mm.
been the man. You haven't
yes,
been able to do this. So
yes,
we're not even. We already know that you can't protect us. So
yes,
Right.
we've been doing it
Wow.
on our own. We've been taking our
Wow.
own trash out. We've been paying our own bills. We've been taking care of the kids. What do we need you for? So we guys,
yes.
we grown a resentment to you because
Mm.
we've been doing it since we came to America by ourselves
Mm-hmm.
without you. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
now when we do come in, we try to do it. What are we met with? Resistance, right? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They don't want to give up that. They don't want to give up that power they have. I've been taking the trash out. I got it. I'm not waiting for you.
Right.
If I tell you to do
Right.
it one time and you ain't moving, I told you to move. The trash is out, right?
Right.
So, and I'm making my own money. You know what I mean? I'm making my own money, so I'm paying the
Right.
bill. So I
And it
don't
really
need you
shouldn't even
here.
be that fight. Like that's one of them
Absolutely.
empty
But it
arguments.
is. But it
But it's
But
an
is
this is what
empty
it
though.
is.
argument. You wasting
But this is what
time.
but this is something we're dealing with, right? So I know a lot of times you come in and you're fighting with women over doing what you so-called think a man should do, right? You're fighting over it. Like I got to do it. I don't need you to hold the door for me. The things that you think you should do that are chivalrous, women are so used to not having it, they don't even expect it anymore, right? I got my
Mhm.
own
Yes,
door. I got
yes,
my own money, right?
yes,
I got my own car. You ain't got to pick me up. I'll meet you there, okay? Because now it's like a pissing contest. I got it. So now, where is the man's role when a woman is the man, right? She's a man. She's acting as a man, doing everything that a man is. We're talking about the that's supposed to be. Where's the man's role? Because now you're in a relationship with another man, so you're
Mhm.
bumping heads because you guys are doing the same thing. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to relinquish anything, and
and you're right, Daryl.
Oh
It's
shoot.
a vicious cycle. I mean, I was talking to a couple who the man said, well, I dated you and I married you because you're independent and you could take care of yourself and do
Mhm.
all the things you
Hmm.
need to do for yourself. And she said, well, I married you so I wouldn't have to.
Right.
So it's a
Mm.
it's a
Hmm.
it's a cycle. It's a
And
Mhm.
cycle.
it's
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
and that's what we're dealing with. We're
We are
still
so
dealing with that.
broken.
That
We are.
yes,
We are so broken.
yes. And when you have two broken people together, it's just even worse because you guys can't fix it. You may have good intentions, but our brokenness doesn't allow. Again, we're both
No.
afraid. The woman's afraid to
See,
give
that's
it
where
up
I
because
disagree.
she's like, listen,
I think we are broken, but I think we can fix it because one, we know that we are broken.
Mm-hmm.
We know
Mm-hmm.
that we are broken. So you find the
no,
broken. Go ahead.
no, I
Well, I
said
was gonna share
we
about a
know, like
couple
in
that I'm
this
working with,
room.
like in being broken. You decide. I mean, I'm not really trying to steer us all the way back, but if you write in a new phase, it's like you can write your new playbook.
Yes.
The playbook,
Right.
when you
Exactly.
play in a sport, your position changes, your role changes
That's
because life
right.
is
That's
happening. So
right.
you got to be able to say, okay, well, during this season, this is the playbook moves that we had, but now we in a different season. The strategy needs to be changed and revised. So it's like, okay, how can I write this new phase? Like, what is it that we
Exactly.
could make our playbook look
Exactly.
differently? How we communicate, how we do finances, how we spend quality time with each other, how we talk.
Yep.
Like all these things need
Yep.
to be covered in the wellness
Yep.
plan of your relationship.
And both people have to be on board.
Yeah.
Right. It could.
And
It's
not so rigid
Well,
that they gotta
well,
be my
first,
way.
see again. I think we're talking about, like, say, the outliers. I feel like this room is an outlier. The
Mhm.
world doesn't look like that. Most people are not have don't have this wherewithal, or not getting help, or know what help looks like. So that you have two broken people that just continue to make these bad decisions over and over again. That the
Mhm.
problem with us is that in our community we're not getting help. Help was
Mhm.
never a thing that was promoted. It was never
Mhm.
promoted self help. People are not,
Mhm.
again, they still have this negative view of getting help or going to a therapist or getting counseling.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
very negative views. So you continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. So we're not healing as fast as we should because we're not getting the help that we should. Like I said,
Mhm.
even this program right here, it's not going to go out there like that because it's not ratchet. People aren't
Right.
turning up. People aren't
Yeah.
fussing and
Right.
fighting. They
Even
don't
though
want
Yep.
to
we had
hear
the
real
music, they
talk
ain't
Right.
gonna
No,
do
because
it.
now it
ain't
tells you
nobody
to be different.
twerking.
We ain't
Daryl,
cursing
twerk.
nobody out.
Soon as
Daryl,
the
twerk.
music went off, they turned off. Soon as they
As
see,
soon as
we
the
know what
music
some people
turned
want.
off,
Listen, so soon as the music went off, they turned off because nobody
Right.
wants to be challenged and really hear about the abuse they went through and they're dealing with. Right?
mhm.
You don't
You
want
know
to.
what? That's
When we
okay.
start talking about these relationships, you remember this happened to you. You don't want to deal with that. Right?
Right.
You want
Right.
to just move on to a new relationship, thinking that it's going to be a new relationship, there's going to be new things in it, but you're
And you
bringing the
took the
same
same
energy to
suitcase.
this new
Yeah.
relationship.
And one day you wake up and say, wait a minute, this is just like Charlie.
Yep.
Or Johnny.
This is Charlie, but different face, but still Charlie. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hmm. And you are the common denominator. So
Yes.
you gotta look in that mirror and be like, okay, how am I gonna do something different? And it takes work, it takes an investment,
Yes.
and you just really gotta be committed to what that process is.
Yes.
Even if you like, you cost how much a session? Okay, wait. I do spend that amount in eating out for lunch all
Right.
week.
Right.
And I could
Right.
cook at home. So maybe I could do that and invest in myself differently. Or if I
Mhm.
go out on a Friday night, back when we were able to go out, I do drop a nice 100 and some change just on
Exactly.
my
Exactly.
outfit, my car, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking.
Listen,
Like you
and
gotta
and
change your mindset on how you invest in you building.
Yes. Yes.
and Del Rico, if he was on here at this particular time, he probably would chime in. But it comes from that slave mentality,
Right.
where we were taught that we're worthless,
Hmm.
and I mean,
Mm.
and just reflecting back on what you said, Mary, as far as about the the cost, of sitting down with a therapist.
Hmm.
People are paying $150, and that's cheap, for a pair of sneakers.
Mhm.
Right.
Whereas
For a
I could
cell
get
phone.
you,
Mhm.
yes,
That iPhone 12 costs how much?
yes, It's a
That's like
what,
that's like
12,
4 or 5
12,
sessions.
$1,500, 12 to
Okay, more than 4 or
$1,500.
5 sessions, right?
Yes, yes. But our values, we just put our values in the wrong place, the wrong
Mm-hmm.
place. We'll
Mm-hmm.
invest in a pair of sneakers. We'll invest in an outfit. We'll invest in our hair, our nails.
Child, we
Anything
got to order it from
aesthetic.
Atlanta. You don't know.
Anything aesthetic, but if it comes from within, or if we're building ourselves within, oh, I can do that on my own, or that can wait,
How many sessions is it gonna take? I can't tell you that.
exactly. My
Right?
girlfriend
You
told me the
you
other
want
day.
$100 and what dollars for a
Listen, wait,
session?
wait.
Really?
I want
My
to share
issues
this
ain't that
story.
ain't no worth $100.
Let me share. I want to share this story. So a friend of mine was talking, and she was her son goes to a private school, and the private school was, they have a psychologist, and the psychologist talks to them. It, it's about it's a sports psychologist or something. I forget what the role was, but nonetheless, it's to groom them into being a better athlete. Nonetheless, the she wanted to go outside of the network that she had, which this psychologist was only charging $85 per hour. I was like,
Wow.
what?
Wow.
That's
That's
good.
cheap.
That's
That's
good.
extremely. They must have just gotten to the field.
Right?
Right. I said, and this is a psychologist with a PhD.
Mm.
So I'm
They
like,
still could have just
80,
gotten the field 85.
I'm sorry.
They still just got in the field if they only charging 85.
Right.
Exactly. That's why I said at $85, girl. And she felt that that was, now, mind you, this is in a private school setting, so that the people are paying for their kids to go to the school. The psychologist should not be cheap, but nonetheless, because of his connection with the school, he was only charging them $85 an hour. I was like,
Mm.
girl, what, you didn't jump on it? Are
Mm-hmm.
you kidding me? The rates are at least 125 and up.
Right.
Right.
You
And you
know
pay twice that to get your hair done.
Hey, but
exactly,
if
exactly.
you don't know something's a deal, then 85 might seem like a lot.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You don't know it's
And
a deal.
And that could easily be
it's
coffee for a week.
and it's about priority.
Right.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, thank
Think
you.
about it. It's like throwing money away when you don't really know something or believe it to work. Like, I'm gonna talk to
Right.
somebody, gonna
Well,
help me with my problem.
$85 an hour might be too high for a psychologist as
No,
opposed to
no,
$160 to get your hair done.
no. You
Listen,
said it
I
right
could
the
talk to
first
my
Or
time,
to go
Doc.
girl.
It was
to a
about
I could
Valor
talk to my
Inn
priority.
girl for
on City
free.
Line Avenue and get some
What you say,
drinks or a
April?
landmark. Huh?
I said, Doc,
I
you
said,
said
what you
it
say,
was
April?
right. With this particular person, it was about priority. She was looking
Mm.
for a bargain for her son, but it just wasn't a priority. But her son is the one that walks around with 200 and above pair of sneakers. Like, are you
Mhm.
serious?
Right?
Mhm.
Are you
Our priorities are
serious?
all over the place. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Mhm.
And I
Jordans.
think that's
And what does the report card say?
It's funny. I was just talking to somebody today about priority, and we talked about how some folks could live in the projects and
mm,
pay $70 a month for rent and drive a Benz.
A
girl,
Benz,
and or wear Louis
Bentley. What you
Vuitton
mean? A
bags.
Bentley. I know, dude with a Maserati
Wi-
pulling up to the project.
And and
Listen,
really not
Range
want to
Rovers.
and really not
Yeah.
aspire to live somewhere else.
No, they
Yes,
comfortable
Well,
with that.
again, why would
that's
you?
okay.
If this is all you know, then you're
True.
good. Like, you
Mhm.
made it.
Right,
If this becomes generational, if everybody live there, you made, because now you got that car out front. You got
Yes.
that
yeah,
range. You feel
Yes.
me?
right,
Because you are hot in the streets.
Yes.
right,
That goes to show where your worth is. You think this is where this is your ceiling.
right.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
know the same dude at Maserati, he just drive around Camden all day. He ain't, like, Cherry Hill Mall is the furthest he's going.
Wow.
And not coming across the bridge
Even across the bridge is like going to Philly. Like,
to New
we
York.
go to I mean go to New York. Yeah, we going to Philly. Huh? Like,
Right.
that's cool. That's big. Like, y'all excited? Okay. Okay.
Philly
Everybody
might
live
have
differently.
some nice parts.
but again, but that's, I mean, to them
I
that's
know I'm
really
listening.
going far. That's, I mean, that's a whole different world over there. It's like you just see how small some people's world really is.
Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
if you see how small people's world really is, and that's
Yes.
because, you know, you're not shown anything else, and this is life. This is what it is.
So
It's the best that it
I
gets.
always say when we know better, we do better. You
Yeah.
Yes,
know,
yes,
when we know better, we do better. So and in defense of our people, I feel that we have been trained to think that, our value should be in things versus other
Uh-huh.
things,
Yes.
um
Yes.
and 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 that all generates stems from the origin comes from that slave mentality, which
absolutely.
is, can easily segue into another conversation. What we won't go there, but
Where we
that's
going?
where
Where we not going?
To the
well,
other conversation. Well,
Right.
to
I
a
I,
different
I
At
think
10
that,
o'clock.
so remember, we are a newly freed people. We have to remember that too, right? We're newly freed
exactly,
people. So,
Joe.
and we have what, maybe even like 50 years really kind of being freed. So we're still like
Amen.
any new country, place, or anything, you're developing, you're
Amen.
learning things. You're still learning how to do things, right? So we are such
Yep.
a young people. We're still learning how to do things. And what we've learned is what makes us feel better is that nice jacket, those red bottoms, that
Yep.
car, right?
Yep.
That's where we are right now. We're
Yep.
in things that we can obtain instead of doing things that really free us. You know, but we're still very young
Mm.
people. We have a long way to go to build ourselves up, and that's why I say sometimes,
Mhm.
with all the drama and trauma we had, we're really a resilient people. We
Of
really
Mm.
are.
course.
We're, we're really a
Mhm.
resilient.
We are the most resilient people on this earth.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
we
Yes, we
kings and
are.
queens
absolutely.
of it.
We
Yes.
are. We are really a resilient people, and we have a lot of trauma that needs to be
Yes.
addressed. And if
Of
we start
course.
addressing our
We have
trauma,
we have
we can
trauma
grow.
in our DNA.
Yep.
Absolutely. It became a
Exactly.
learned innate. It became the learned innate. It's
Yes.
become part of us. And we need to start
Yes.
weeding that out, and we will start to flourish more and more and
Yep.
more.
We're
So
still in our
that's
process.
absolutely very early in our process. You know, that's what people don't understand. You can't, when they try to talk about people of color, black people, and what we're doing, or Africa, whatever, what we're doing. Remember, we're a very, very, very new people, newly freed
Yes.
people, right? And we're kind of figuring what freedom out in a place that doesn't really represent or promote our growth, right?
No,
So we're
not at
And
still,
no,
all.
nothing is written for us.
absolutely.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely. So we still have a lot of things that are stunning our growth as we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to grow. They continue to throw things at us to stun our growth, which is slowing the process.
Yeah, they and us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we play a part because we want to assimilate to what we believe that they're doing is
Right.
better.
Right.
But
Right.
what I say is I understand why we're doing what we're doing. At least I can understand
Right.
why we're doing what we're doing, right? But
Right.
when they, why are they doing it? You know, they are still doing, and that's where they have the real problem, because you are making holding the people back for what reason, other than what, for power, or to
Control.
control,
Privilege.
and that's what it is. And that's why things are going crazy right now, because that power and control is starting to wither. It's starting to get chinks in the armor, right?
Weekend.
Just with things like this, where you have people of color that are just intelligent, and bringing the truth. This is their worst enemy. They don't like this, right? I'm surprised they're still letting it happen, because they're going to start shutting these things down, because they don't want the truth to get out there.
Right. Of
Right.
course.
That,
Right.
their enemy is the truth. They
They
know
don't
the
want
truth.
the truth. They don't want the truth, as well as some of us don't want the truth either, because we like living a fantasy life.
Of course.
And
Of
those
course.
filters that they've created on all of the different social platforms, like we like living behind filters, but
Of
We're,
course.
we're just
And and
illusion.
and and the people who have quote unquote made it, they also help perpetuate that
Mhm.
Well,
idea.
Yeah.
it's a couple
Yeah.
things. I think the difference is they know the truth. Some of us don't really know the truth, right? So we're walking around in the dark trying to find it out. They know
Mhm.
what it is. They know the power we have. They know we come from excellence. They know that, and they don't. And we're starting to kind of see that, which is helping us grow. But just think about it. If it's a very abusive way of growing up, I look at from growing up from where I came from. It's very abusive when you look back on just the conditions we lived in, and having to walk home and worry about someone trying to take your new sneakers or take your bike. Like that's a very abusive way to live. So when you get out of
Right.
that era, when you get away from that, you don't want to look
Right.
back to that because you remember, that's a direct that's a trigger. Ooh, I remember
Right.
that. I remember. So
Yeah.
you don't that. So when you make it, you leave out of it and you keep moving forward, and you're still trying to make it and get for yourself. But that's why I think a lot of us don't reach back because that's hurtful to reach back because that brings a lot of memories up that you
Right.
probably haven't dealt with, that you're not
Right.
ready to deal with. And when you go back there, you have to remember this, that, or the next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have truly covered a lot in this time coming back after 2 weeks.
Right? We were
Like
We done
all, yeah,
overtime on overtime.
we done went overtime on overtime for
right.
sure. And I mean, it was like we was having good conversation, and I don't even really want to stop it. But when you look at the overtime to the overtime, and people don't know about the after party. So it's like, I was like, okay, we gotta draw it back in. So we've talked about the current events and our role and responsibility with the current events. We've talked about all the different abbreviations that WAP could be if we whack ass people, if we work in penis, if we like we got a whole bunch of different
We said working
WAP
penis.
work and penis. You ain't
I
hear Del
Yeah,
missed
Rico
that.
say
Rico
that?
said that. Yes.
When you was talking
Okay.
about the work people.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes. And it was something. Wait, where is that note at? Let me see. Oh, without another person. So it's
Right.
like all these different things. Like if you think about how it is that you can write another phase, that's the PG-13
Right.
relationship flow version. What would be our closing thoughts to contribute to our audience that is here with us live, as well as those that catch us on the replay? Um, because like I said, we covered current events, we covered our relationship to politics, our relationship to all these WAPs, workplace situations, family, single folks, people who think religion guides everything. Like we covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah. My
and
thing is,
kudos to us because the panel was ready. And I mean,
yeah,
catch you guys, Daryl.
true.
Okay, all right. So what would be our closing thoughts? What would we
And
say?
I
Come
think
back next
that
week. That's my closing thought. Come back next week. You see how good it was this week. Come back next week.
And we
I
usually
would
like
say
8 to 9:30 ish. Like that's usually the time. So don't
Right.
think that we go this
We
time
can
all
come
the
back
time.
in.
But we haven't been here for a couple weeks. We missed y'all too.
Yeah.
so. I would say, think of what you can do to make your relationship better. Like really taking some responsibility
Mm-hmm.
and not,
Mhm.
handing everything over to your partner. Taking some responsibility for making your relationship better. What can you do?
Yes.
You
I,
know, how can
yes.
you take responsibility for moving your relationship forward?
And how about focus on a relationship with yourself
Mm.
before you begin involving the role and the cause and the conviction towards somebody else and who is involved in your village.
Go.
Heal
Go ahead.
yourself.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that's the biggest
I
thing.
think that is the biggest, definitely the biggest thing. And it's the one thing that's often overlooked
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because people are so interested or gung ho or whatever you want to call it to get into a relationship
Mm-hmm.
that they don't even think about their own health
Absolutely.
and wellness.
Mhm.
You definitely got to
Absolutely.
start with you.
Mhm. For sure. For sure. I mean, if you're not healthy, then you bring that into your relationship.
Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Definitely. Definitely. Biggest takeaway will be start with yourself, and
Yeah.
before you involve anyone else, you should feel like you're ready for someone else. You should feel like you're ready to move and can accept someone else and really talk to them and communicate and open to whatever comes
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
without
And it's
the
like, okay, I don't
worry.
want to
Just
say, we're not suggesting that if you are in a long-term committed relationship that you got to abandon that. But just reframe how it is that you function individually so that you could be present in your current relationship and not still holding somebody accountable for something that happened in the past. And
Right.
if you have to have that real talk conversation on the residue that exists from what happened in the past,
Doing.
then
Mhm.
figure out a safe place to do that.
Yes. Take responsibility for your own happiness.
Hmm.
Mm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
not hold your partner accountable for your happiness.
And
Didn't we talk
And
about that?
I want to say, it's not just
yes,
your partner, but it's anyone that you come in contact with. Because I
Mhm.
just reflect back on the conversation we were talking about holding the door for someone that comes out. Whether they're white or black. You
yes,
can't,
yes.
hold. I mean, you have to let that stuff go. Regardless,
Mhm.
because one,
Absolutely.
you don't know what they encountered throughout their day.
Mhm.
But you
Absolutely.
have to still be,
Absolutely.
present for yourself. So
Yes.
regardless
Yes.
if that person is white or black, them holding the you holding the door for them and them saying not thank you. You know what? Let that be. This is all
Mhm.
about
Absolutely.
me going
Mhm.
forward,
Absolutely.
me building myself, rebuilding myself. I control how I am as a person, how
Mhm.
I want to grow. So
Mhm.
and that compiles everything that you all have said. It's all about,
Hmm.
what do
Hmm.
you want for yourself.
Yes.
you know
Yes.
Got you.
so
Yes.
not just within the relationship, again, with
You-
your
you-
partner or your whoever, but your relationship with others, period.
And relationships are not one dimensional.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Always,
Yes.
always be that light. Yes. Hmm.
Mhm.
Your signal
Always
is
be
like
that
going
light,
in and out.
independently.
Okay.
Of who's
Right, right,
around you.
right.
Don't let any mine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We have to polish ourselves.
Mhm.
Oh God, I just immediately thought about being nail polish.
Oh Lord.
But yes, we have to polish ourselves. Back in the day,
Yes.
they used to call it etiquette class, or you're doing
Exactly.
different stuff. They don't have that all the time everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we definitely got to reshape our narrative and build our relationships accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Nice closing.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So the crew in the comments, the crew in the audience with us live or as well as on the replay, we thank you for, and hopefully you enjoyed your 2 weeks off. But as you can see, we are live and we kicking doors down in 2021, still trying to build your relationships, not only with yourself, but with life and anybody you come in contact with. So we still need to know what your writing another phase is. But if you have another subject that you would like us to cover, we always put it out there in the open to share it, and always feel open enough to just ask us any question as we go along. I mean, the comments is great, but if you got a question, drop it in the chat. Or if you got somebody's text message, hit them up.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, in the meanwhile, you all be safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side next Friday at 8. Deuce.
Okay.
Don't be late. Friday at 8.
Oh, God.
Deuces.